Hello, hello, and happy Wednesday. We have a lot of tasks ahead of us for the Dungeon Racer. I had runner typed out there. Yeah, so all of this, yeah, everything from here to here. All right, well, let's do this. Let's see. We have 11,300 characters. 300 characters in the Dungeon Racer section of this list. I don't care about the exact count. Like, yeah, did I select Dungeon Racer or not? I don't know. Doesn't matter. We got some updates. I built a sprite. I don't think I can just run this like this, but I can run it through here. There's nothing much to say about that. I just have the program now. And I was trying out Soul Medium yesterday instead of Extra High. So earlier this week on Monday, I accidentally had it set to fast mode and used 67% of my weekly quota in one day. And then they reset usage the next day, I think. So last night, I was like, all right, let me get some work done. And I wrote down how many tasks I had here. 5 small changes, 2 of which had plans. And then a meteor plan and implementation was 1%. And then I must have used another, what would that work out to? 2% somehow. Anyway, not bad at all. So Soul Medium seems like it's fine for most tasks. I'll probably try that out. Then again, I don't know if there was just some problem using Soul Extra High. But I got some things done yesterday. Let me show this off. Hey, David. Hey, Spear. Nothing better than accidentally leaving Claude on Fable and Ultra. Yeah, it's like the only indication that you're even in fast mode, I'm not going to show it because I don't want to enter it and then be stuck in it, is that there's a little lightning bolt at one part of the screen. That's it. So it's like, it's very easy to just accidentally make that mistake. They don't want to warn you for that or anything. Anyway, okay, so here's what I did yesterday. If you go, like every time you move forward, it's advancing some counter in the background. And when you get to the counter hitting like 1500, I think, you'll spawn a treasure room. So I got it. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. So yeah, there's no longer a treasure chest in this room. We go through here. Hi, cat. Do you want to come sit down? Good cat. Good girl. All right, it should be spawning pretty soon. It should be right after this room, I think. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so there's a treasure chest. So these now spawn every so often. As you're going faster and faster, you'll find more of them because you'll just be moving faster, not because they show up more often. And when you run out of power-ups, it will give you a bunch of coins. So I got this done yesterday, and I did a bunch of other little things. I don't remember what they even were. I ground myself for reading every single file. Yeah, exactly. The behavior everybody wants. All right, so I got the next boot upgrade. Cat. She's like licking the skin off my arm. Yeah, good cat. Maybe we should make an upgrade like you can't be hurt by bombs. And maybe just bombs explode immediately. That's kind of silly though. I was thinking one way we could do this is when you dash and it does damage to something. So like right now I can kill this by dashing. It could be that you enter a sword animation and you're just a spinning set of blades at that point. But yeah, this is looking pretty good. He's tenderizing me. He's just gonna eat my entire body at this point. All right, yeah, fun tasks day. The goal by Thursday, finish most of the Dungeon Racer work. So yeah, let's just get to work on this stuff. So how do we do this? This is problem number 1. Actually, we should probably kick off. We should probably kick off an AI thing first. Yeah, let's do that. Whirlwind is always a must. We have the graphics over here. What? Why did a GIF open like this? There we go. Yeah, so this graphic, imagine we just took the spinning part of it. I think it would make it apparent that you are dealing damage. However, it's also increasing your hitbox by quite a lot. So, yeah, I don't know for sure that I want to do this. But yeah, I need some way of... Wait, right, I said I'd make skeletons. Okay, let's go make the skeletons then. How did I get these? Oh, I just got these from Itch. This is on the dungeon gathering pack here. So yeah, I don't draw my own artwork. It's a combination of asset packs and Quickie Joe making stuff. And these look pretty good. Oh, thanks, Spear. Thanks for the sub. And welcome in. This cat. Poorly timed ad. Yeah. I said I get my assets through Itch and through Quickie Joe in chat sometimes. Hey, DevZone. Project manager back on camera. Yeah, she's really putting me to work today. Okay, skeletons. Where are the skeletons? Monsters, skeletons. Okay, we're just gonna take the first one, I think. And which animations did I say I wanted? Let's go figure this out. So sprites, characters, dungeon racer, monsters. All right, skeletons. All right, we said we wanted idle, hurt, throwing, bone, death. But do we really need hurt? Also, if they're ranged enemies, do you have any reason to really go over to them? I think they should probably just die in one hit. So what does that leave us with? Idle, throwing, bone, and death. Idle, throwing. What is bone? Oh, just the literal bone. Okay. Idle, throwing, bone, and death 2. Paste. Okay, not too shabby. So now we go check this in. Add skeleton graphics. Nothing uses these yet. And then we go write out our prompt for this. Dungeon Racer. And I'll have it plan this. Okay, so create skeleton.tscn for the Dungeon Racer subgame. All right, how do these look? Oh, they always die facing downward? That's fine, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. Idle is down right, up left, and throwing is down right, up left. I do have to check that because they're inconsistent across some of the other packs. Okay, use skeleton idle for the idle animation. Each row is a single facing direction in the order down, right, up, left. I just want to make sure I said that correctly. Down, right, up, left, yeah. Use skeleton throwing for the throwing animation. Each row is the same thing. Use skeleton death 2 for the dying animation. There is only a single row here that should be used for all facing directions. So we just need one generic death animation that doesn't take the facing direction into consideration. And use skeleton bone for the thrown bone animation. It also has only a single row. Okay, so skeletons are stationary. Skeletons are stationary. Range stationary. They have a sight range just like zombies. Is this gonna load? Hello? Hello? Okay, apparently not. Zombie. What do we call this? Detection area? Yeah, detection area. They have a detection area just like how zombies do. After detecting the player, actually, it's not even really detection, I guess. How do I want this to work? I guess when they spot you, they should start throwing bones at you. Can you slash the bones to destroy them? I don't know. Let's ignore that for now. So after detecting the player, they start throwing bones at the player every 2 seconds, let's say. Every 2 to 3 seconds. If the player gets too far away, the skeletons will go back to idling. So wait a second. Should they just have an attacking you range? Yeah, how about this? If the player leaves the detection area, skeletons will stop throwing bones and go back to idling. They will face the player and start throwing bones at the player every 2 to 3 seconds. All right. The skeleton scene should... You know what? Let's set this one to high because I'm doing a decent amount here. Oh, yeah, and I also want to keep track of what is my usage at. I'm doing this while I go plan something else that I want to do. So AI, 94%. Okay, hey, Strong. The skeleton scene should export a direction that allows me to set which way they're facing before they've spotted the player. Bones travel up to, let's say, like 500 pixels. They get Q freed when they hit a wall. If they reach their maximum travel distance of 500 pixels, then they simply fade out and then get Q freed. You know, JP, you ever use Codex or CC as a CLI? No. I think I loaded into it like once and then I realized, I'll just use a desktop app. I don't know if there's a significant reason for me to use the CLI. Like, the only thing that I have a problem with this UX is that I want this box to take up the entire screen. I don't like how it starts out with like 3 lines and expands to be just this big. Like, I want to see the whole thing at once. I want to write it like a Google Doc, basically. And if there's a way to do that, that'd be awesome. I know I could just write this somewhere else and then paste it in, but then I don't get the same highlighting of what Codex knows about. So like skeleton idle, this is just markdown. So if I do this, it's just a link to a file, but like it's nice to see that in here, I guess. All right, bones can hit the player, at which point the bones disappear and cause the player to get hurt. And skeletons take 1 hit before they die. Causes them to enter the death animation. And if a player makes contact with a skeleton, the player gets hurt. You find any particular model is better at Godot? I haven't really used too much. I used Claude for a little bit. It was doing just fine. Then I switched to Codex and I was on 5.5 up until, what was it, 2 weeks ago when they released the new one. And since then I mostly use Sol extra high. But part of the reason for that is because there was just a ludicrous amount of quota that everyone was getting. And I had to burn through my like resets that were happening. Then I started using Sol Medium yesterday. And Sol Medium seems like it's pretty good. I'm using high to plan this. I'll probably switch to medium afterward. I don't actually know how to switch in between. So I got to figure that out. All right, bones get Q freed when they hit a wall. If they reach their maximum travel distance 500 pixels, then they simply fade out and get Q freed. Bones get the player. Bones cannot hit other enemies or other bones. Other enemies, other bones, or vases. Well, how about this? Bones cannot hit anything other than walls and the player. And yeah, skeletons standing over a falling floor section should shrink and fade away like practically every other entity in the game. Doing next in .NET. Yeah, I think it's been good. I think Godot also lends itself pretty well to using AI. Like, I'm just telling it to go set up animations and stuff, and it's going to go make these scenes, and it's probably going to do it correctly the first time, which is nice to know. Is there anything else we want for skeletons here? They throw bones at the player. Yeah, it's funny because that's my single line spec, and then here's the entire thing, I guess. So they remain stationary. They have a detection area, just like how zombies do. After detecting the player, they'll face the player and start throwing bones at the player every 2 to 3 seconds. If the player leaves the detection area, skeletons will stop throwing bones and go back to idling. Actually, you know what? It should probably be on a set amount of time so the player can work around it. Right, because if they're all just throwing randomly, they don't telegraph their moves. They just enter the throwing animation. Yeah. Also, I gotta have it like line up the bone with the throwing position. Bone should spawn where the skeleton's hand is on frame what? Frame 1, 2, 3. On frame 3. This position changes depending on the direction that the skeleton is facing. Best way to set this up is probably like how... how about this? Let's not be prescriptive about that. Thanks, Athletics. Howdy. I got a bad feeling the AI costs are like Uber or DoorDash costs, super cheap and great to start until you're hooked, and then the prices are going to start getting jacked up like crazy. I think this can only happen so much, though. I mean, imagine if you could just run a model on your own machine, then you don't have to pay any more than the machine, the electricity, and maybe bandwidth. I mean, I probably shouldn't use much bandwidth. So, yeah, whereas with DoorDash, it's like, yeah, restaurants, you could always just go pick up food yourself, and then they can't charge you more than it costs you to drive yourself there or bike there. So I guess it's a matter of like, well, do you have the means and do you have the desire to set this up? And right now, the means are slightly tough to get. It's like you're not going to run a Frontier model on your average laptop. But yeah, maybe that changes. Maybe people start buying like AI boxes that they put in their house and they cost like $1,000. And I mean, that might sound like that's pretty expensive, but a $20 a month subscription comes out to $240 per year. So it's like, well, that's 4 years. And who knows, maybe they cost like $3,000 or something. It's still going to be a good investment for a lot of software developers. But for right now, yeah, prices are, I'd say, very good. Like $20 a month for me to get the amount of work I'm getting out of this, that's pretty nice. The oak stuff is super interesting. Others are working on our road bigger models. What is that? Close the gap between value and action. Is this what? No, this doesn't sound like the right thing. Nah, here it is. What is this? They're just trying to basically replace humans with AI. I see. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It's funny that a service like that is not that. Okay, never mind. I found 2 different oaks then. Yeah, if you don't mind linking it. Skeleton hand is on frame 3. This position changes depending on. It should fade in when it does. Should fade in when they spawn. This spawn position changes depending on the direction that the skeleton is facing. Okay, I think we're probably good. Let's leave it at that, and let's just hit plan here and go back to working on the other problem. All right, so yeah, we have a problem here. So problem is it's not going to be super clear what each upgrade does. And if we tell you what it does when you get it, you may not remember that. So we probably need something persistent to tell you. Oh, wow. Yeah, there's a third one. Okay. Roles to discover and implement algorithms that allow agents to achieve goals in big worlds. It says so far told me nothing. I see. Okay. So this is like a you do something, you do a workflow, and then it learns and does that workflow for you from then on. I think this is something, if I'm understanding that correctly, this is something that the frontier AI models are already trying to do. I saw this feature advertised, and the first thing I thought of was like RuneScape. I don't even play RuneScape, but I just imagine you like fishing in the game or something and then being like, okay, AI, you go do this now. And that is very kind of funny and dystopian because it's like, hey, AI, play a video game for me. I know we've always wanted to do this when it comes to multiplayer games. Hey, Foreign, welcome in. All right, so how do we do this? Option one, we have signs occasionally or, yeah, tips that show on screen. Yeah, everything's going okay. Why do you ask? Back to the days of using a rubber band to infinite run in Morrowind to build endurance. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think how I've done this in at least one video game, but I can't remember what for. And I remember in Smash Bros. Melee, to unlock Mewtwo, you had to play for like 20 hours or something. Yeah, one way is by playing 20 hours of versus matches. So you would just leave the game on overnight to get Mewtwo if you ever were on like a friend's GameCube or something. Anyway, it's funny. All the AI web-based systems are running the drug dealer trick, free AI until you're hooked. I mean, you say drug dealer, this is just how almost every business, well, not almost every business, but like lots of businesses get their start. They compete on price at first. And then, yeah, once they have a standing in the marketplace, they can afford to raise that price. Yeah, hey, interface. Costco free samples. I mean, some of this stuff, I don't think it's nefarious if like, you know, if Costco offers free samples to people, it's just, it's a well-known structure. I think it's pretty similar to AI. I know there's some negative opinions about AI, but some of the business practices are not necessarily like bad or shocking or worrisome. Yeah. All right, so have signs occasionally or tips that show on screen. Option two, we have some kind of pause screen that tells you more about this. If we go this route, I think we'd want to extend this to other sub games, but we haven't had much of a need for this yet. Also, and yeah. Maybe what we could do is, okay, what we could do this. You get a power up and it says something like speed boots or something, dash boots. Press whatever, some button to find out more. And then that button brings you to a like a power up explanation screen. I was wondering, how do you think crunch in game development differs in Western devs versus Eastern devs? Do you agree that Eastern devs are typically better with tight time constraints? I don't have any personal experience with the Eastern devs part, so yeah, I can't comment on that. Well, with ketchup or mustard? They started doing the dispensable onions again some places. I kind of like this idea. Yeah, I kind of like this idea. I have a Switch controller, so it would look like this. It'd be dash boots, press, minus to find out more. I know that's hardly visible because it's gray. But yeah, that's not too bad, right? Or we make this even like larger text. Yeah, I like that idea. Now the question is this sufficient? Are there any issues with this? I don't think so. Walk around and grab samples after. I mean, it's pretty cheap. It's what, $1.50 plus your time. Yeah. What? Why does this have the notification icon on it sometimes, but there's no actual thing to act on? Oh God, it's like viewing all these images. I wonder if this is gonna. Well, so far quota's fine. Yeah, I like this idea. I think we're gonna go with this. So add, like, clarify how power-ups work. When getting them in game, show text above. When getting a power-up in game, show text above the, maybe like persistent text above the chest that says name of power-up, font size equals, or like name of power-up. This is in a big font. And this is in a smaller font size. Press minus to learn more. And then pressing minus on a controller, which I don't even think we have set up. I don't think I've ever used this, have I? No, I do not. It's the back button on PlayStation and Xbox. I've never owned PlayStation or Xbox controllers, so I'm very much in the Nintendo world when it comes to this stuff where it's minus. But it used to be called select, and then N64 just did away with it. I don't know. Can anyone comment, like, if you press the back button in most games, is it used as a back button or is it used as some like extra info or something? Have I ever worked for a major studio? No, I only had one professional game dev job outside of just doing stuff on Twitch, and there was no crunch time there. And I wouldn't say it was a major studio. That's why I say I don't really have experience with the Western dev side of things. I mean, I have experience with crunch and non-game dev jobs, but it was never like a prolonged effort. Usually this circle button is back. AC17R. So what do you use this button for on a PlayStation game? It's that one, I'm guessing, on the left side. Is that right? Packs usually be in a menu. Okay, yeah. All right, well, I think this is fine then. Because, yeah, it's just the more info thing. I think this is a plan we'll do, though. I think this is pretty decent. So pressing minus on the controller will bring up... I guess it would pause the game. Would pause the game and bring up power-up information. We would just explain the power-ups you have and their various levels. Text for the boots. Okay, yeah, let's look over this thing. So yeah, how do you change this to use medium at this point? Like, let's say I wanted to implement this. I see yes, implement this plan. But how do I change the model? Codex plan with high and implement with medium. How do you change model reasoning between plan and implement? Yeah. Hit the stop button or say no. At this point, you can change the model and reasoning levels. Oh, I see. Okay, I got to write notes about that. Write notes about how to change the reasoning level in between planning and implementing. You might as well take a picture of this, right? I guess this doesn't need to be this large. I can shrink this down. Codex, basics. Maybe I'll write this here. Changing reasoning levels between planning and implementation. When you see this prompt, oh my God, it's so hard to manage this. Choose no. And then I gotta actually write the rest of the instructions, but I gotta read this first. Change it in session, but that copies the whole history of the session in the new session, so waste tokens, but there's no real better way. You can ask the high effort session to summarize and then paste that into a new session. I just want to see if there's a way to change it in this particular conversation. And I think choosing no will let me do it, but I need to read this first before I can test it. So add a reusable skeleton plus a dedicated bone projectile scene in C# behaviors. Skeletons remain stationary, detect and face the player, throw aimed bones, take contact and combat damage, and participate in falling floor destruction. Sounds good. Build this as character body 2D using existing enemy collision conventions, directional, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this is fine. I don't like this skeleton direction thing. I'm going to say to change this. Instead of exporting skeleton direction, we should have a generic cardinal direction somewhere in the code base. Use a 96 pixel detection radius matching zombies. 96 pixels? That's all that is? It looks huge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, wow, it is 96. So how does this look inside of a dungeon? Because I think we need to make this bigger. Here it is. So it takes up like half of this. Well, I don't know. I can always change it. Yeah. Yeah, I can always change it. All right, implement stationary state machine. Immediately begin throwing in the player's first detected. Track the player's cardinal direction while waiting. The player's cardinal direction. Lock that direction during each throw. What? Instead of tracking the player's cardinal direction, track the cardinal to the player. Zero based animation frame 3. That is not correct. It is 1 based animation frame. Spawn the bone on 0 based animation frame 2. Or how about this? On 1 based animation frame 3, not 0 based. Okay, maybe this is the result of doing this on high. I used to do this on extra high. Or maybe it's my just, I don't know, I haven't really written the spec differently from what I normally do. Aim toward the player's position at release. Bones travel straight and do not home. Yeah, this part I'm not certain about. You're mostly going to be moving to the side, so maybe it should predict where you're going. Let's leave it at this for now. Cancel an unreleased throw if a player exits detection range. Already released bones continue. Return to idle using the last facing direction. Before first detection, use the exported direction. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see. Add skeleton bone.tscn with an 8 frame looping bone animation. Travel 160 pixels per second. So it can travel for up to 3 seconds. That's probably fine. Oh, my legs. What does 1 base animation frame? It means if you have like, walk 1, walk 2, walk 3, this is 1 base numbering as opposed to an array in most programming languages. Like let's say you have, numbers and you say this would be 0, 1, and 2 indexes. So it's just you number, is this the first element or is this non-existent? So in Lua, this is a problem, I think. But in C, this is the first element. So just where do we start indexing? Fade in over 0.1 seconds. Use a small projectile collision shape with a mask limit to layer 1. Immediately disappear on walls or player contact. Stop. Fade out over 0.25 seconds. Sounds good. Try to take hit, succeeds once, disables all collision, plays death, drops 2 coins. Oh yeah, drops 2 coins. I forgot about that. And frees the skeleton. Extends sword, level 3 dash, bomb, spike trap handling. Spike trap handling isn't really needed, but it can be done. That's fine. Register skeletons, falling floor objects. Yep. With no tuning response provided, use recommended defaults, and no new repurposed skeleton specific sound is added because no sound behavior or suitable asset was requested. Yeah, that's fine too. We got to add sounds for them manually then. All right, let's just click next here. And let's write this down. Add sounds for skeletons. I guess it would be them getting hit and maybe them throwing a bone and then bone colliding with something. Yes, exactly. Frame 3 with the array is 1 index based. Yeah. Because when I looked at this picture, I was counting from 1. I was like 1, 2, 3. It's the third frame. But it just assumed I meant 0 indexed. All right, while that's running, I want to go look at how we're going to do this other feature because I want to plan that too. We're just going to try to make it through as much of this list as we can. I feel like this has gotten a lot slower. I don't know why. All right, so when you press start right now, this is what you see. You get the same menu you have in every other game. So if you're inside of, let's say, the farming game and you press start, it's the same menu. And this has stuff that is useful in every game. So like your settings, you might want to change your audio here. You might want to save and load. We don't have that yet. You might want to quit. I like this. I don't think this is where we should put the power-up information. So I think we should make another pause menu just for those games that need it. Maybe every game has some information for that menu. I think that's the last big question. If we make this minus menu, should every game implement something for it? How about for now? No. It's extra work for no reason, and not many other games need to tell you this kind of information. If and when you do development off stream, do you listen to anything? Yeah, I tend to listen to either classical music or video game music. Like yesterday, I was listening to the Final Fantasy XI soundtrack as I was working. But yeah, I don't tend to like stuff with lyrics when I'm working. And I don't tend to like listening to something too new because then I tend to focus on the music and not my work. All right, anyway, I like this idea. I think this is good. So how is this new plan here? You specialize enumeration such as boost pad direction, where the permitted directions are intentionally restricted. Really? I just don't think this is a good idea. Where's boost pad direction? This is just the same. Oh, no. This only has 3. Never mind. Okay, no, this is fine. I didn't realize that. Build skeleton as a character body 2D. The reason I did not make them face left is because you're going from left to right in the game. So left would be bad. And it's okay to have some bad stuff, but I think that's a little too bad. Okay, sounds good. In the begin throwing, calculate facing direction with this. Recalculate direction toward the player while waiting. Lock it during each throwing animation. Spawn the bone on the third visual frame. Yep. Aim toward player's current position. Yeah, so this is the classic problem in a lot of games. If you aim toward their current position and they're always moving, you'll probably never hit them. But if you aim to where they're moving, it might be too smart. And some old NES games had this issue where they'd aim to where you're moving and then you'd almost always get hit. So you had to like kind of change midway. So something we could do here is we could aim at where you are and randomly offset by a little bit and just increase the frequency of how often they throw bones. But that's something we'll figure out once we play test it. Schedule releases randomly, calculate or cancel this. Yep, return to idle. That's all fine. What else did I tell it to change? I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, nice. Okay, so now I say no here. Skip, or just X out of this. And then change it to medium. Yeah, so how much should it use in planning? 1%. Honestly, maybe we should just have it implement this on high. You know what? I'm going to do that and just see how much this uses. Whoops. I got to actually type implement the plan. And I got to make sure I'm not in plan mode anymore. Turn plan mode off. Yeah, in which case I got to just click yes. Then change the reasoning level as you normally would and type implement the plan. Hey, Nilox. So 2026. Yeah. I was always using AI, but I was just using it for autocomplete really back when I was using GitHub Copilot. Now I'm using agentic AI and I'm doing kind of most of my dev with it. I just find it's much, much easier. Hey, Mevins. Welcome for your reporting to fun duty. You were allowed one fun. Yeah, it's been very smooth for doing things here. Like this plan, if I were to do all this myself, I'm guessing it would take at least 45 minutes, at least. Now, I just spent a long time typing on a prompt. This is kind of like baking time. You know, if you're making cookies, there's some amount of time you're on the hook for, but then yeah, your oven needs to bake them for like 12, 15 minutes. You don't really count that exactly. So yeah, this I don't really care about. But then after this is done, I review it. So it's my prompt time, my review time, and then any changes or improvements I want to make. And it almost always works out to be less than if I just made it myself. Finding less and less reason to actually open the editor nowadays. Yeah. Easy to pick up the phone or YouTube or your stream, etc. Well, there's no need to stop looking at my stream. But yeah, your phone and YouTube are big problems. In fact, I would triple the stream usage as a result of that. Yeah, I see that too. I see that happening. Now, granted, while I'm streaming, there's always a lot to talk about, I feel. And there's also just the next thing on my list. So what I would be doing right now if I were alone, and I'm going to do this anyway, even though I'm streaming, is I'm going to go now and plan how this one's supposed to look. But yeah, it's tempting to be like, all right, well, I'll just play a game or something. In fact, this is one of the after hours things I kind of like doing. Last night, I got done with the stream and I had like frustrating work I had to do. Part of it was personal, part of it was work stuff. But then when I got back to development work, I was like, you know what? Okay, I've been working for a pretty long time today. I'll play a game as I'm prompting this. And it worked out pretty well. So we want to plan this. Let's go do this. New work tree on Dungeon Racer. Why do I have changes? Because I ran with this open. All right, let's delete that. All right, so Dungeon Racer. All right, so I want to add helpful. I want to add a screen with helpful information to the Dungeon Racer game. Pressing the cat just made a sound. Pressing this button, joypad 4. So we got to add this, right? Add new action, testeroni, add, and set this to minus. Because I want to figure out what Godot calls this, and then just save. Godot calls it button index 4. So there must be other ones that I use. Button index 1, button index 13, 14, 11. Yeah. So this one is 4. Pressing the minus button on a Switch, a Nintendo Switch controller, which Godot knows as button index 4, should open this menu. Should open and close this menu. This menu is only available in the Dungeon Racer subgame for now. All right. Hey, Faceless. Hey, Galaxy Inferno. I have an amazing flower, but no streak. Oh no, it's been ruined. Ruined. Hey, how are those screens coming along? All right, we explained the power-ups you have and their various levels. On this new menu, we explain the power-ups you have and their levels. See the text below. If you don't have a particular power-up, we don't show anything for it. If you don't have any power-ups, then you can't even open, or no, maybe you can open the menu and it just says you don't have any power-ups. There should be text saying something like, you don't have any power-ups. Or maybe we call them items. You don't have any items. Oh, you know what we could do? Oh my God. We have this UI. I could pop this up and we could do exactly what you see here and it would look a lot better. Oh, I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this, but it probably is best. Because this is going to be a lot of work, even using AI. I think this makes the most sense. Yeah, you press minus, an inventory thing pops up. You can see the items you have. There would be the bombs, your coin magnet, boots. Maybe your sword could show here if we had some information to tell you about that. Oh, man. What's an extra home tab? Twitch in between. Interesting. I don't think I've seen that yet. We gave up on those. Crew of friends in a transporter for closets and sofa on Friday. Oh, nice. Yeah, small victories. This is AI's problem now, not yours. I mean, I still need to tell it how to do this stuff. Hey, Phaedric. Oh man, yeah, this is gonna be a lot of work. I think this is probably the smartest way of doing it, though. But this is like a big feature. Yeah. Hey, Goose, welcome in. Boarding for duty. All right. Well, let's look up something before I do this. Because, yeah, this is going to be a beefy one. Codex, can you expand the size of the input box to take up the full screen? Changes size window is too small. I understand the frustration. Currently, the app doesn't offer a built-in way. Practical workaround is copying the diff into a separate editor. Full width of the viewport? I don't care about that. I just want to take up the full height. Hey, Pressel. Ask Codex about it. So many fun people in chat and flowers. Ah, man. Yeah, it's just type it somewhere else. That's too bad. Yeah, fine. I'll type it somewhere else. Quadruple dose hit? No, I did not. Temp. So this is going to be UI plan.md. All right, I want to add a screen of helpful information in the Dungeon Racer subgame. Pressing the minus button on a Nintendo Switch controller should open and close this menu. This menu is only available in the Dungeon Racer subgame for now. On this new menu. Actually, I guess it's just the inventory screen. And inventory screen to the Dungeon Racer subgame. Pressing the minus button should open and close this screen. This screen is only available. All right, while the screen is open, the game should be paused. Pressing the, what is it, pause button? I don't know what I called this. Also, I got to delete this. Which means I got to reload this now. Yeah. All right, what are you called? Project settings plus. You are called UI pause. Pressing UI pause while the inventory is open. What should that do? So imagine you have this screen open and you press pause. Should it spawn the pause screen on top of this? Or should it just close this? Should it close the inventory or open the pause menu? I don't know. I don't think it matters too much. Or I could do both. No, I think it should perform. I think it should do one of these two. Open the pause menu or do both. Yeah, how about this? Should still open the pause screen. Make sure that the game doesn't unpause when you open the inventory, then open the pause screen, then close the pause screen, since the inventory is still open or would still be open and should pause the game. All right, so there we go. On the inventory screen, we only show items that you've actually unlocked. Hey, Spirit of Freya. Which one is it? This is a corn keyboard. Yeah, I like it quite a lot. All right, now I got to go copy over all of the UI. I didn't even open this, did I? No, I did open this. Oh, this is what I don't want to do. I don't want to do it. No, hey, they have all these different arrows here. I could maybe use those in the game for tiles. I wonder if they're 16 by 16. Oh, I don't know if I even care anymore. All right, where do we have like an inventory thing? Inventory system. Oh, God. This is going to be misery. Yeah, this is going to be misery. I want to copy pretty much what we have here, but I got to go rebuild all this myself because they have the tabs on top where I could show inventory. But we need to make them like 9-patch rectangles. Then we have the actual inventory blob here. You only really get so many items, so maybe we just have this. Yeah, sure thing, Bria. Yeah, maybe we just have either this and you can select the item and there's like a close button down below, or this and the item and the name shows up at the same time. I kind of like this style. I think this would be good. Maybe we even render this at the top of the screen all the time, and pressing minus just like goes to that and shows you the tooltips. Hey, Sean. Here be the name. Oh, the name is 2 lines up from your message. It is this corn keyboard. Yeah. And I have a link to a video I made on it and my key map if you want it. Yeah. And hey, Kyle. I'm doing well. Sorry I missed your message. Yeah. I guess it was only by a minute, though. How are you doing, Kyle? No worries. Also, your English is good. All right, so UI-wise, I don't really care too much about which one of these I use, I guess. Yeah, and we have little arrows pointing at things. So I think we use this UI. And then we put the items in. Oh, right, it's Wednesday. You got to use your cult message. Oh, man. Yeah, this is going to be a lot to type out. And I think it's going to take more than 10 minutes. What cult? What are you talking about? It would actually be kind of nice to show this all the time, right? Maybe just with a number next to it for how much of each of these things you have. Yeah, so for the UI, I guess let's go pull this in. Do we have the individual pieces of it in here? Skill level system? No, I don't need that. Mouse cursors, mouse cursor, mini map. I don't care about the mini map. Menu system. I think we just pull an inventory system. A whole lot of hearts. Oh, this is everything, right? So as long as we don't see anything else that we need. Yeah, and I don't. I think it's all just inventory system. Hey Mars, how you doing? All right, UI, Dungeon Racer, inventory system, add inventory graphics. Nothing uses these yet. A little foggy, brain fog, or like outside fog. Hey TJ, please don't disappoint. Oh, I won't. It's gonna be a good day. It's already been a good day so far. It's just there's a lot of specifications we have to write. I'm keeping well. Made the switch from Adobe products to Affinity. Oh, nice. Yeah, I never really used Adobe products to begin with, but I don't like the idea of having subscription software that doesn't really need to be subscription software. And some subscriptions are a little bit more amenable than others. Like Rider lowers their price over the years that you stay subscribed. But yeah, Adobe just rubs me the wrong way. Brain fog. Started ADHD meds, riding the roller coaster while my body adjusts. Yeah, it sometimes takes some time. I hope you end up feeling better. Hopefully it leads to a new normal that you appreciate. All right, so the UI of the inventory, this is what's really tough to get across here. So we want to render this. We have what? Bombs, coin magnet, boots. I might add a shield and I might add a little book thing that you can get. We can just render as many of these squares as we need. In fact, I guess the squares are right here, right? There are two different colors though. Maybe this could be the selected color. And we'll also render a little arrow next to it. So if all we're doing is rendering a square, we don't really need the UI for this, I guess. Let's still just fetch this and see what is this. This is, yeah, 16 by 16. And it starts at some like strange number here. What is this? 103, 184? It is so hard to read these values in Affinity. I wonder if I should just load up a spray for this. CD bin a sprite. GUI was not found. What? A sprite quit. What? What happened? Available builds. CMake cache new build. Update Visual Studio. I don't know. I guess the cached one? This probably shouldn't take that long. No work to do. Yeah, why won't it run then? Oh, no, now it worked. Weird. Hey, Remy. Maybe that was a very funny video you sent. All right, so I suspect this is going to make it easier to see what specific pixel this is. Yeah, it's 103, 184. It's just a weird coordinate. I thought it was Affinity. Because, yeah, Affinity does something weird with coordinates, too. I'm not going to explain it right now. But, all right, so we have an inventory, like an item background, I guess. That's here. So items go into item slots. There are 2 slot backgrounds. We only have a few items, so we'll render them in a row of item slots. There are 2 item slot backgrounds. This one is 71, 184. 71, 184. Both of which are 16 by 16 in size. Dark background and will be used when a slot is selected. And then 103, 184. This is the light background and will be used when a slot is not selected. We always render 6 slots even if you don't have 6 power-ups. The items that can show in the slots are bombs, boots, and the coin magnet. Pot not breaking. There would have been a lot of cleanup. It had shards everywhere. The selected, I guess there is always a selected slot. The player can use the arrow keys on the controller, which I guess is what, like UI left? Yeah. You can use UI left and UI right to navigate between slots. They wrap at the edges. The selected slot also has an arrow indicating an arrow, what, above or below it? I don't know what this is going to look like exactly, but we have these little arrows here. I think that could also help indicate which one's selected. Oh, these are supposed to be for the sides of dialogues. Oh. Where's that picture I took? This one? Yeah, no, we should use that. In fact, that's all we should use. Right? Yeah, where's that? That doesn't exist in here. Well, that's nice. So now we gotta go find that, right? Where is that? I don't see it in there. I don't see it there. Gotta be in here somewhere, right? Ugh. It's gonna be impossible. And it's white, so it's even harder to... Oh, there it is. Okay, what is that? No. That's in the mini map. That doesn't... That's not right. Because this is probably 8 by 8, I'm guessing. Well, it's 13 by 13. But in the picture I took, it's larger than the tile, so it's like 18 by 18. No one would notice a broken pot. What a sad world. Where is this graphic? Goodness. How are you supposed to find this? There it is. Where is this supposed to be in terms of these files now? So difficult. I mean, worst case scenario, I could just take it and extract it from that file, but there's got to be one that just has like that, right? I truly do not know. So yeah, maybe we just extract it ourselves. Don't we figure out how it works and restores their item? Wow. Well, I'm a little bit confused though. You can sell abilities in that game and not like get them back? I think I'm going to need to take a break before we get done with the prompt here. All right. Well, let's extract this graphic out then. Yeah. All right, finish this prompt and extract out the selection graphic and change the instructions I gave on how slots should look. Talk about the tooltip. Talk about adding text next to a chest that tells you which item you got, and to press minus to find out information, and maybe change the UI on the screen to show your inventory. All right, I had to take a break. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello, hello, and perfect timing because I just returned. Hey, Cakes. How's everybody doing? Hey, Warlock, close the game. Has the new game started? Because we have been working on a bunch of different things over here. And the most recent one, let me show this off, is Dungeon Racer. Give it a sec. Give it more than a sec, apparently. All right, yeah, here we go. So let's do this and this. Is there music playing? Why do I not hear that? Okay, now I can hear it. Yeah, so this is supposed to be kind of like a Zelda game. You got a sword, you walk around, you collect coins, which are, sort of like rupees, but they actually speed you up. And you're going through this small dungeon here. And they're, very minor puzzles, like a step on a switch kind of puzzle. There we go. Let's go over here. And down here. So these you have to kill in a certain order. The order is at the bottom of the wall. So it's red, blue, green, red. And when you do, open this little staircase. And you get bombs, which you then use on this wall. But rather than bombing the wall, it just bombs the whole dungeon. And everything starts falling down. And this is where the game changes to the Dungeon Racer style. So now it's endless. Not really endless. We'll have a final room eventually. And you work your way through here. And still collect coins and everything. The dungeon is still falling behind me. And if I lose enough coins, I'll move slowly and then won't be able to outpace it. And then after we've gone through enough rooms, we eventually find a treasure room where we get a permanent power-up. So here we have the coin magnet. This is pretty minor. But yeah, eventually you keep working your way through, you'll get dash boots. The dash boots can get more powerful. You can start like ramming through enemies. I'll give one more power-up here. We got to make more rooms too. We only have so many. Oh, it gave me coin magnet again. All right. Well, anyway, I can just cheat this in. There we go. So now I can dash. And if we give ourselves a max level, I can just ram through enemies and become intangible through spikes. When I'm dashing, at least. And yeah, break bases that same way. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. This is the 5th sub game I've been working on here. Hey, Dark Team. Can you pick up coins with a sword? Yeah. It's a little hard to... Yeah, there we go. I was going to say it's going to be hard to prove with a coin magnet. Yeah, that way if they fall in a wall, you can still get them. So yeah, this is what we've been working on. I hope Cakes has been doing well and that you've all been enjoying his stream. I keep trying to raid him, but he's never online when I finish in the midday on Tuesday. Yeah, this is feeling pretty good. Keyboard cam might be lagged unless you're not using it. No, I'm using a controller right now. Yeah. Alright, this will max out our coins, I think, yeah. So this is the fastest you can move. And when you hit this speed, you should eventually just go to the end of the dungeon, which I haven't made yet. But it'll just be some super long corridor where you go like turbo mode. Sonic the Hedgehog levels of speed. Just constantly zipping through. Yeah, so we are working on a bunch of different little things. What I want to add next is this style of inventory to tell you what the items do. And there's just a bunch of work that goes into this. Hey, Krakos. Well, okay, so to be clear, that is a sub-game of Stuck in a Broken Tutorial, which is the main game we're working on. So all of them are games that are broken in some way. And the way that that one's broken is like, it's supposed to be a Zelda game, and then that bomb is supposed to like break through a wall. But yeah, it just destroys the dungeon. But the way we start out here is in a very simple like platformer. And you eventually move through different games. There's a farming game here. There's a top-down shooter. This is a collect the power-ups, kill enemies kind of thing. You move very slowly to begin with. I'll just speed this up. Yeah. So yeah, you work your way through this dungeon. You eventually get to the boss. And then we made a Skeleseller themed game. You open treasure chests. And you get perks. And you set item prices. And then customers can come and buy your items or be appalled at your exorbitant prices. Hey, nice. We got some money. Yeah. So yeah, you're going through all these different ones. The way that this game is broken is there's a portal at the bottom and you can just leave through it at any time. So you actually don't need to interact with this game at all. And then yeah, you work your way into this Dungeon Racer game. Hey, Campbell Soup. And hey, Quick Sate. Making longer vertical only traversal pieces could give the falling arena time to catch up and make it a little more difficult. What I think I decided on, because yeah, that is one way we could do things. What I think I decided on is your coin count will dictate how quickly the falling floor catches up to you. So like if you have 50 coins, it'll be there in like 4 seconds or something. And if you have 500 coins, it'll take, let's say, 20 seconds to get there. Or I don't know, maybe less than that. But that way, as you slow down, the floor catches you even faster so that you don't have to wait forever for it to reach you. I'll just reach you faster. Can you program the weather? Heat index estimated to be 117 to 118. Kids had softball and baseball yesterday afternoon. It was brutal. Oh man. I've never even experienced temperatures that high. Yeah. The hottest I think I've ever seen it was 111. And I just stepped outside to see what it felt like. Yeah, it was very hot. I can't imagine 118. I mean, I know it's not like drastically more, but it's still, it's too hot. All right, so we are coming up with all of this stuff. So we need to go get this graphic. Oh, I don't like doing this. All right, where is the little selection thing? Graphic is huge. Here it is. So I guess let's just take everything from here. Yeah, now I have not used Sprite before. I just installed it yesterday and I've never touched it. All I've done is open up an image to make sure it worked. So I don't actually know how you extract this out now. Can I cut? Okay, nice, I can. And then can we make a new thing? Yes. And then paste. Hey, nice. Okay, easy. So it works the way I'd expect. Now I want to save this as a ping. And inside here. So sprites, UI, Dungeon Racer, select, or like item selection outline. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay. The item slot background is at 103.84 and is 16 by 16 in size. The selected slot renders with, okay, so I gotta go check this in. We could probably just amend the last commit. Yeah, why is this not showing? Yeah, it's probably fine. Select slot renders with, what is that called? Item selection outline.png. Over it. Also, isn't it supposed to be animated? Where did that go? Yeah, oh man. I only saw one of those. Where's the other one? They don't have another one, so I need to draw it. Well, for now, it just won't be animated then. Yeah. Okay, the selected item also shows a tooltip. All right, so that tooltip needs a background. In this picture, well, I guess let's just look at this one. They had this here. So this is not actually a 9-patch rect, right? Yeah, because they have this like line here. So if you were to stretch this, it would look a little bit worse. So maybe we should just use... Maybe we should use something like this. It looks like the tiles that you're walking on. Maybe we don't even theme this just yet. Tooltip should contain the item name, its level, and a description like this, like these. So bombs don't have a level. Press, I don't know what you can press. Press A to place a bomb. Bombs explode, hurt everything in their explosion, including you. We don't need to be funny here. It can just be a description. And then what do we have? Boots. Boots level 1. Press L or R to dash. And coin magnet level 3. Pulls nearby coins to you. Level 2 grants invincibility while dashing. Level 3. Yeah, let's just list all these out. Level 3 grants allows you to damage enemies mid-dash. And level 4 and bases, I guess. And level 4 automatically kills anything. It's not just damage, but the only enemy that actually needs that right now is a slime, because we haven't added anything else afterward. What we could do is treat it as though they're bomb explosions. It'd make it more apparent. Any enemies, or like increases the damage dealt by your dash. Or will increases the damage dealt by dashing. Now, these other levels also increase the number of charges you have and how fast they recover, but I don't think we need to mention that. Look like what's below. Bombs don't have a level, and coin magnet doesn't have level specific text. All right, what else? Extract selection graphic, change the instructions, that's done. Talk about the tooltip, that's done. We didn't talk about the theming of the tooltip though. Tooltip should render inside a panel container. And the panel should just look like this maybe. How many sub games are you thinking of having in total? Probably like 15, I think. It's kind of hard to say. We've been working on this game for about probably 4 months, and we have, roughly 5 sub games so far. I say roughly because there's a lot of polish that needs to be done. So if we triple that, it will be 1 year of rough development, and then probably like 1 year of polishing. and fleshing out the story and whatever else, adding any finishing touches. So yeah, I think 15 probably sounds about good. But then again, I'm planning on having like micro games, not micro games, maybe like mini games. So if you consider these sub games that we have so far, we have 5. There's the platformer that's maybe like, let's say 2 minutes. What's the next one? The farming game. That one's probably like 5 minutes. Then the top-down shooter, yeah, that's probably like 5 to 10 minutes. Loot boxes is actually like 10 to 20. It's actually 1 to 20 because you could just skip it. And then the dungeon racer will probably be like 5 to 10. So I think there are going to be some more games, like future games. There could be something in the order of 1 to 2 minutes again. And those might be much faster to make. So we might be able to hammer out like 5 or 10 of those. In which case, yes, our total would rise to 20 or 25 sub games. But yeah, in terms of playtime, if there's an average of like 5 minutes, because I like the game to be a little more than like 3 hours if we could get there. I don't think we're going to get there like this. So yeah, I need to think about this. WarioWare for the mini games. Oh, those are like micro games. I was maybe something like that. Not quite like 5 seconds. Thank you, Aston. What's my words per minute? I've only got joke answers for you. Tooltip should render inside a panel container with, where is this background? Oh, we got to load up the inventory system one. So I think we use this. 272, 288. And its size is... There we go. Size is 128 by 98. What is this? Is it the ending coordinate? What is this 416, 464 at the bottom there? Oh, the size of the entire sprite sheet? Ah, yeah, okay. So then the size of what I have selected is 128 by 98. 128, 98. And I don't think I even told it where to find this, did I? No, I did not. Tooltip should render inside a panel container. Its background should stretch to accommodate the contents using a 9-patch background from this that starts at 272, 288 and is 128 by 98 in size. All right, tooltips should render inside a panel container. I guess this would be above the items. In the middle of the screen. The tooltip should be placed in the center above the row of item slots. How much? Like I said, there's only joke answers. Typical. I don't think words per minute even matter all that much now in the days of AI and in dictation. Like, it comes in handy if you feel like you're typing constrained. In some tasks, you are typing constrained, like writing out an email, especially a casual email. You're not putting that much thought into your words, right? So it's just like, how fast can I type it out? Or like a Discord message. Typing is the bottleneck there. But yeah, for programming, it's rarely the bottleneck. Tools should be placed in the center above the row of item slots. If no item is in the selected slot, no tooltip should show up. And this bit about adding text next to the chest, we'll do that later, I think. Yeah, this stuff should be done afterward. Hey, Jangtron, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. And it is going well. How have you been? So further UI work is here. All right, so I think we're done with this for now. Let's go take a look at this. So I wanted to add an inventory screen. Pressing minus on a Nintendo Switch controller, which Godot knows is button index 4, should open and close this screen. This screen is only available in the Dungeon Racer subgame for now. The inventory screen is only available in the Dungeon Racer subgame. Need to modify project.godot to surface that button. What should it be called? Like select? It's the back button on Xbox and PlayStation controllers. Maybe like UI info. Also add an entry in Godot string names for it. All right, inventory screen is only available in Dungeon Racer subgame. While the screen is open, the game should be paused. Pressing UI pause while it's open should still open the pause menu. Should open the pause menu on top of the inventory. Make sure the game doesn't unpause. Yeah. Only show items that you've actually unlocked. If you haven't gotten the coin magnet, it wouldn't show. If you've gotten nothing, then no items would show. And we should have a close button below all this. Below the row of item slots, there should be a close button. Pressing UI cancel should also close the inventory screen. Good, but tired. So you're using more AI. Did you ever make a new video about it? No, I've wanted to. I should probably write that down. I don't know exactly what I have to say yet, though. Consider making a video on my current AI usage. Need to figure out what my message would be, though. Maybe just how my game dev has changed. Hey, stats. Okay, we only have a few items, so we'll render them in a row of item slots in the middle of the screen. Item slot background is there. There's always a selected slot. Let's renders with this over it. Items that can show on the slots are this. Show their corresponding graphics that are used when... Wait, no. Hold on. Is that even true? No, these don't have outline. Well, they have black outlines. I guess that's fine. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Selected item also shows a tooltip. How about that? Tooltips, text contents should resemble what's below. Bombs don't have a level. Coin magnets doesn't have a level specific. All right. The tooltip should grow upward from the item slots to accommodate longer text. Okay, how about this? If the tooltip has to accommodate longer text, it should grow upward from the item slots. And below the rest of the item slots. Actually, how about this? If no item... No, yeah, that's fine. All right, so there's our mega plan. So let's paste this in here and run this. Before I do this, though, what did we end up using? 88% here to implement the, what do we even do? Skeleton plan on high. All right, so I'm going to kick this off, and then we're going to go review skeletons. Let's go check it out. Commit. There we go. All right, so git merge this. And now we go take a look. I'm excited to see this. Oh, wait, no, this won't do anything. Because we need to actually add skeletons somewhere, and I haven't added them. So, yeah, this is pointless. I could just stop it, I guess, but I'll let it finish. All right, let's go add skeletons. Let's put them in dungeon piece 1 and 2, maybe. I don't know, it doesn't matter too much. All right, so monster instantiates skeleton. So we'll put one here and one at the bottom. And this one should face up. And then same thing maybe in dungeon piece 2. Or whatever big dungeon piece we have. Well, 5, I guess, is pretty big. Yeah, let's add some skeletons in here. Skeleton, and let's put a row of them and just see how that works. So they don't move, but they throw bones at you. And yeah, this is all AI implemented code, so let's see how it is. Oh man, they throw them really fast. Okay. Wow, neat. All right, let's give ourselves some upgrades so I can zip through this. We got to get to the other room that has skeletons. Oh, come on. It just keeps generating the same room over and over. Ah, here we go. Whoa, neat. All right, so they properly hurt you. Looks like they're throwing them correctly. Let's stand over here. Yeah, nice. I mean, look, it did a good job, right? And look, they fall with the floor. Very cool. Yeah, as in terms of obstacles, I guess it depends on how fast you're moving. Because like here, this is very hard with the zombies chasing after you and skeletons throwing bones at you. But if it were just the skeletons, I think it'd be easier to dodge. But yeah, this is great. This is wonderful. I had to do almost nothing. So let's go get rid of these two things. Revert. And close out of all of this. Reload. Yep, just close it. And review everything we got here. That looks good. We now have cardinal direction. What is this? Cardinal direction extensions. 2 vector 2. I'm fine with that. Yeah. All right, we initialize skeletons. Sounds good. Yep, this is another falling object. Skeletons hit. I'd love to have a way to genericize this. I guess all the monsters probably should have been inherited from a monsters node. And they could have just had a try, take, hit, or are they susceptible to sword attacks or bomb attacks? But yeah, for now, I guess it's okay. So skeleton, we're going to review more closely. Review skeleton.cs. I'm not going to look at that now. This is its scene. Let's go look at that. Skeleton.tscn. It has different bone spawn points. I'm gonna test this out. Let's see. So if I set this to right, is right bone spawn point is there. It's probably fine. Up, its up bone spawn point is there. So it throws with its left hand. Is that correct? Where's the skeleton one? It doesn't. I don't know, actually. It's kind of hard to tell. I think it's throwing with its right hand all the time. So I think this is wrong. Yeah, I think that's wrong. But that's probably fine. Yeah, so we should probably test it with test where bones spawn when the skeleton faces up. But the scene itself looks fine. Yeah, I don't see any issues there. All right, skeleton bone, we'll review that too. When they're standalone files like that, I don't like reviewing them in a diff editor. So I'll just come back to those in a sec. Skeleton bone, whoops. Skeleton bone. Just has a sprite and a collision shape. And does the collision shape pretty much match? Yeah, that's good enough. It doesn't need to exactly match the graphic, especially when it's a projectile that hurts the player. All right, so what else do we have to look at? Spike trap change. Spike trap change just for skeletons. I don't really think there's much of a reason to even change any of this. Yeah, I think I'm just going to delete this entire thing. Now, if skeletons could walk toward you, there would be a reason to do this. So it might be worth keeping. Well, I guess the question comes down to, do I plan on making skeletons walk toward you? Because I think it's too much if they walk toward you and they throw bones. I think they should basically just be like little towers or traps. Yeah, I think I'm going to delete all this. Okay. Let's copy it just in case. I'll save this in temp as spiketrap.cs. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to use it though. So let's go revert this. Yeah. Now vector 2 extensions. We have this 2 cardinal direction. I think I hate this. Yeah, I think I hate this. All right, this I gotta look at a little more closely too. So we got 3 things we gotta review a little more. Figure out why in the world this exists. And this is the change the zombie to use this new thing, yeah. Okay, so let's go back to skeleton.cs. This is brand new. We're gonna save this so it gets auto formatted. This is all fine. Oh, nice. They're markers. Glad it's using markers. Yeah, this is something I'm always torn on. The reason this file is so long is because we're configuring sprite frames in here. And they all kind of follow this pattern of like 150 lines of code. How much is that? Oh, that's a little less than 100 actually. I also don't think I want them to stop throwing if they've started throwing. Yeah, I think that's a bad idea. All right, so we have some detection area. Let's go take a look at this. And body exited is here. Yeah, this enter idle, I don't want to do this. Yeah, we just immediately stop them. I wanted to stop them after they're done throwing. Also, throw delay remaining shouldn't probably change at all. So let's just delete that. So where does throwing end? Start throwing is here. Throw delay remaining. Play throwing animation. So there should be an animation finished. Here it is. If it's throwing, enter idle. Interesting. So we don't have to do anything basically. And this could have just been an else. All right, I think that's better. Now what else do we have? Sprite is null. Yep. Okay. So there is a question mark somewhere that is unnecessary. This. Yeah. All right, let's test this out. Oh, I didn't test walking into skeletons, did I? I don't think I did. Oh, there are no skeletons anymore. I deleted them. All right, let's test everything by just adding 1 skeleton here. Skeleton. Face upward. Move you over to that. So we want to see if they're throwing the bone from the correct position, if you can walk into them to get hurt, and if they don't glitch out when you move between that detection area, which is between these 2 coins. So I just need to be on like that tile and go back and forth. Yeah, nice. No, they are doing it still. Oh, drat. Okay, so it's on entering that messes them up, not on leaving. All right, now what about throwing a bone upward? Yeah, they're throwing from the wrong spot. And what about touching them? Okay, nice. All right, so a couple changes. They got to throw the bone from a different spot. Skeleton up. Oh, that broke everything. Object reference not set. Oh, interesting. This is needed. Oh my God. Wow. That's kind of interesting. That question mark is necessary because this isn't set when it's a tool script. I don't like that then. Or we need to change how this works. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that. No, it's still not working. What's going on? Don't save. Open it again. Now everything's fine. I think we need to change something else there. Anyway, this should just be moved to the side. So let's just put this over here. All right, any other problems? They're right-handed. They throw there. Yeah, that's probably okay. We'll just test it out again. And then the other problem that I had was with when you enter the collision area. Update direction toward players, start throwing. So this is only if they're idle. Are we allowed to do this? When they start throwing, they enter the throwing state. Update direction toward player. I mean, this can be done no matter what, but the start throwing should only be if their state is idle. If state is idle, then do this. All right. Let's go test that out. Yeah, nice. Now they don't just start spewing bones over. No, wait, no, they're still messing up, right? They're facing you no matter what. Are they messing up? I can't tell. Yeah, they are. Yeah, the throwing delay is going back down to 0, so they're just throwing bone after bone at you. But how about the throwing position? Is that fine now? It is. I don't like the actual sprites here because it does. You see this? The left hand moves for them to throw with their right hand. And it looks like they're throwing with their left hand first. Wait, maybe that is what's happening. No, I think it's just strange animation. Hey, Dev House. Howdy, howdy. Dev House, I think I asked you last time you were here. Many people run your account, right? And how do I know that I'm talking to the same person on the account? Yeah, things are going really well here. I need to stop resetting their throwing delay. Where is that? Throw delay remaining. Yeah, here. All right, so we set this to 0 somewhere. Where is that? And we don't set it to 0. Start throwing. This should check your throw delay remaining. Actually, we just shouldn't even do this, right? They start throwing in physics process. Let's just delete this. How do you know I'm still the same person I was last week? Is that why you asked me about the insect screens? That's why. Yep. No other reason. I don't care what the answer is. It just lets me detect if it's the same person. All right, so now we shouldn't reset this, right? Yeah, I think if they change directions mid-throw, something looks a little weird. Try this again. Oh, what am I doing? Ashley, the community manager, but depending if it's the afternoon, it's usually the person who streams. I see. So I should get used to typing styles then. Wait, I need him to change direction. God, this is too hard to set up. I have to remember too many things. All right, I need him to face up, and then I move mid-throw. Too fast. I can't do it. Yeah, there's it's it's too difficult. I'm trying to see if the animation gets reset. But I got to be standing like right at this brink at the right distance from them. I don't think it is. Yeah, I think it's fine. You don't have to worry about me. Wait, but someone came in the other day after streaming, so it wasn't you. Interesting. Do you ever stream on the account? All right, let's take a look through the rest of this. I think we've verified most of this now. Is there anything else I want here? Player is null. Player cannot be null. Yeah, why do we even allow it to be null? This is very strange. Oh, because we need to cast it. Okay, I see. It's only really used for this. This isn't called, though, unless we're outside of a tool script. Player is null. It's just there. No, I don't think we have any problem with this. Yeah, I think this whole player is null thing is pointless. I think we just delete this stuff. Player is null, is instance valid. Delete that. Dereference possibly null value, not anymore. Player equals player, that's fine. This we can delete. That's fine, that's fine. That's fine. There's only one player, so we don't need to do that. That's fine. That's fine. That's everything. Okay. Hey, Tessel. Why is everything so small? Is this not legible? Because I do try to keep this such that I'm zoomed in a decent amount. If it's still not legible for you, I could increase it a little bit. Although the code's not super important, but yeah, feel free to let me know. Do a lot of event planning and project management and marketing. Also game from time to time. Oh, cool. Yeah. I think you meant the keyboard. Did you Tesla? Yeah, whatever you're curious about, I'm happy to answer. I don't. They said everything, so I'm assuming it's a stream problem. Hey, Tro. Okay, so this is looking good. Now I gotta go look at, well, actually, yeah. Now we gotta look at skeleton bone. This hopefully won't be too problematic. All right, start position, collision shape. Must be launched in a direction. It's just, it should be impossible, but yeah, let's keep the card code, I guess. Fade in queue free. Yeah, I think this looks good. Okay, so there's only one other problem, right? Figure out why this thing exists. I do not like this idea. we're converting a vector to a cardinal direction. Actually, I guess this is okay, but why do we use this? We use it in two places. And we use, okay, I see. All right. I wonder if there's a better way to do this. We need this for the sake of getting the right animation. And this allows us to not have to convert string names, which is actually pretty nice. So I guess I like this well enough. Also, we do just test equality, which is fine. I mean, all of this can be else ifs here, which means that we can then turn it into a like a pattern here, right? Return cardinal direction switch. I think it'll look cleaner if I do this. Oh no, you can't do this because these aren't static, right? Yeah, no. Or not constant, I meant. Yeah, all right, that's fine. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy enough with this. Basically never read the code. Yeah. Well, I have had people, I mean, like way back in the day, say that sometimes I need to zoom in a little bit more, and I'm happy to do that. I don't know if Tesla already left. Maybe they were bothered by the size of the text, which is unfortunate because like I don't mind fixing that stuff for people. All right, so 86% to plan the UI stuff. I think we can check this in now. I probably should not keep the skeleton that I added here. Add skeletons. Well, add the ability to add skeletons. I didn't actually place any in the scenes yet. Yeah. All right, so now we take a look over here. May I launch Godot to capture and visually verify. So this is fine. Yeah, this is fine. But what is this doing? This is for the sake of the plan, right? Yeah, it hasn't finished the plan yet. Wait, what? No, maybe it has finished the plan? Did I not run this in plan mode? Whoops. Okay, that's a big mistake. I mean, it apparently just did the work. We should probably take a look at this and find out if it's doing any good work. Let's go check it out. This is still just running Godot here, right? And then capturing it inside. Yeah, this is fine. All right, let's go try it out. CD into this and then run it. I have to figure out what's making this take so long to start up now. Or if I just need to restart my computer. Oh, wow. This looks decent. Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, the border got messed up, it looks like. And I can't press down to go to the close button. Oh, I guess the only thing you can do is close here because there's no selecting an item. Feel like you should, maybe I should change that. Write this down. Feels like the focus should be able to go to the close button explicitly. Or the items in the item rows. All right, and then what happens if you have some items like that? Yeah, and if I get them fully upgraded. All right, I mean, this isn't bad. We can just lower this whole thing on the screen. In fact, I could probably just say that this thing is done now, right? Before it goes too long. Move the entire inventory screen down a bit so that there's no clipping at the top. We don't need everything. Oh, don't need everything. Oh, maybe it already did that. Shifting the, wow, nice. All right. It already decided to do that. I didn't even need to tell it. This looks good, but why are these so big? It's 16 by 16 and the item graphics should fit inside them, right? I wonder if we're rendering them with a scale. I'm trying to figure out, I don't know how big the item graphics are. Where are the item graphics? Objects, Dungeon Racer, items. And what size are these? Where's the bomb? Yeah, it's like 16 by 16 probably. And that's what the background graphic was too, right? Maybe it isn't. 16 by 16. No, weird. Yeah, they probably have a scale on them then. All right, well, let's wait for that to finish. So skeletons are pretty much done. This is done. That's done. This is done. Add sounds for skeletons. I haven't done yet. Yeah, that should be easy enough to do. We'll put this down below here. Change the UI on the screen to show your inventory. Maybe put small text beneath it saying press minus for details. That way we don't need in-world text indicating what you got. Yeah, I think I like that better. So we can overhaul the UI. So this is done. Let's go check it out. Actually, I'd love to just pull this into the current. I guess I could say continue in local checkout. Didn't I write this down somewhere? Let me on the branch that Codex made. Yeah, I think I'd rather do this in case we want to iterate here. So let's do that. Local checkout. Checkout branch. Handoff. Okay, so now I have these changes. Let's open this. Close these things. And run this. Hey, Rylan. Here you are laboring in the battlefield of video game engine. Okay, so yeah, this is still too large. The items are too large for their backgrounds. And I think that panel is a little bit broken. Is it? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's stretching. That's the problem. I don't want it to stretch. Okay, so the panel backgrounds are stretching. I want them to repeat after the margin. And then I always want the title to be in a certain spot. The tooltip should have the title should always be in the same spot and should probably be a larger font. Yeah. And then we probably need sounds for when you're navigating between these. Need sounds as you navigate between the items or the button. But yeah, otherwise this is looking pretty good. Oh wait, I did not test that. Yeah, so you can pause on top of this. Yeah, I think that's good. And the final one is here. I think we could lower this on the screen a little bit more. I don't know. It works. In English, it's pretty long. Maybe in other languages, it won't be as bad. In German, it'll only take up 10 screens. But honestly, this is not too bad. And we now have an inventory screen. So the bombs are also using their bomb with shadow graphic. I don't know if we have a bomb with outline graphic. Bomb is using the bomb with shadow graphic. Do we have an outlined bomb somewhere? Are we using the shadow graphic in room 4? All right, let's put this in AI changes on ND for now. I got to do all this when I get back from my break. And how much did this use? It's at 84% now. Yeah, using high definitely feels like it's using more. I never even planned this. So 84% to implement the inventory UI. All right, so where I left off, need to address this. Yeah, we're making progress. It doesn't feel like we're making it as fast as we need to, but I guess it's because there's a lot of like big tasks left over. But for now, I will be right back. Is it jump time? It's jump time. TJ's back on the screen. All right, close the game. Good job. Close the game. Okay. Yeah, so need to address this stuff. Feels like the focus should be able to go to the close button explicitly or the items in the item rows. Yeah, I think I'll make some changes here. Let's switch back to medium. I'll turn this into just a bunch of prompts. So right now, it always looks, well, when opening the inventory, I want the focus to be on the row of items. The row of items. Pressing left and right. Pressing up or down should switch between the items and the close button. Pressing UI accept or confirm. I don't know, maybe we don't even think about that for right now. When switching between item slots, play button sound. UI hover button. Whoops. Where did that just go? Here it is. Hello again, cat. Goodbye, cat. Put in 3 moves and wait to see what happens. Yeah. Yeah. It's not much that can be done, I feel. All right, the items are too large for the backgrounds. What is even causing that? Dungeon inventory. Inventory? It was not called inventory? Oh. Sorry. I know what's happening. This is a problem with when it adds new scene files from outside the editor. Yeah, there's inventory screen. So in here, there are slots. The slot background has ignore size and scale. I don't want it to scale. Yeah, and its size is set to 32 by 32. I think 16 by 16 should be enough. Make the item slot backgrounds 16 by 16 and don't have them scale. I guess they wouldn't fit the item graphics. I don't know. What is that other thing? The tooltip style has the wrong texture margins and should not scale. Tooltip panel background shouldn't stretch. Should repeat. That way the textures, the details around the border don't look bad inside the sprite sheet. Don't. Yeah, I'll just say this. Yeah, it should repeat. All right, the tooltip should be split into a title and a description. The title should be the item name and its level if it has one. This text should be larger than the description, which should contain the rest of the item. The title should always be at the top of the box. So should probably be in a VBox container. And what else? Sounds, I think we already mentioned. And yeah, the outline bomb will do that separately. So let's run this. And this is 84%. So yeah. Hey, Jake. How you doing? All right, so I don't need this stuff. We're working on the inventory screen. Inventory screen, and then we need to do this too. All right, so do we even have a graphic for what I want here? I think we do. Yeah, it's right there. So when you pull the bomb from the chest, what does it look like? Does it have a shadow? I gotta take a picture of this. No, it doesn't have a shadow. Well, okay, I don't know why it's not using that then. The bomb on the inventory screen is using the bomb with shadow graphic. We should use the outlined bomb graphic that shows when you pull the bombs from the chest in room 4. I'm not sure if you heard or talked about it. I have a good idea of your thoughts on the recent AI hacking, another AI autonomously, pretty wild stuff. Are you talking about the Hugging Face incident? Because I only read very briefly about what happened. I don't know too much. But yeah, I think there's a large, maybe valid worry about AI starting to prod at security. And this is, there's some fear on Mythos, but like, when I think of the big difference between AI and people is scale. So it's like, can AI do something that humanity can't? I don't think so, at least not yet. But like, it's kind of the same thing of writing a program to do calculations over and over. It's like a human isn't going to work 24 hours a day. And even if a human did work 24 hours a day and never needed sleep, they can't work at the same rate that a computer could work at. So a lot of this, like, oh, hey, we can now say, give me a zebra riding a bicycle or something like that. Like a human could have drawn this, but would a human have drawn this? Would they have drawn it if they weren't getting paid or if it wasn't like a hobby project they wanted to do? But if you need this image now for some reason, maybe you're making I don't know, a silly ad. It's like, well, you can trivially easy now get, oh my God, I cannot speak. You can trivially easily get this image. And to me, it's a scale thing. What I was getting at here is that I think when it comes to coding, when it comes to penetration testing, that you can say to an AI, like, read every line of code and identify what the attack surface might be. Or, yeah, read every line of code and figure out how to refactor it to make it cleaner. And it's like a human could certainly do this. It'd be insane. I mean, maybe not for the attack surface. I've seen people do this for small functions or small features that are getting added. But yeah, imagine doing this for like 2 million lines of code. Like it's untenable. So yeah, when it comes to attacking other software, you could say like, well, just try every single well-known attack and now try novel attacks and now try this. And yeah, I finally have a working AC. Nice, 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 nice. Yeah. Yeah, I was reading there's going to be some law in parts of Washington about like tenants and air conditioning, and it's the short story is that most tenants by default now will be allowed to have portable air conditioning units. And I think what they mean by that is also window units, which I consider slightly different from portable ones, but at least not like, building mounted fixtures that are there. I think it's a good change. I think yesterday it was 90 degrees outside or something like that, and my wife and I were on a short walk, and it was pretty hot. And I said to my wife, I'm like, can you imagine if we went home and we didn't have AC? It could even be hotter than 90 in the house. But yeah, I, I think it'd be uncomfortable. It's not unlivable. I think 118 degrees inside is maybe unlivable. Last apartment in Seattle was the top floor of a very old building with a lot of windows, basically a greenhouse. Yeah, 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 yeah. 110 on days like today. Yeah, that's it's just nuts. I remember when it did get super hot and we didn't have air conditioning. We had to go stay with a friend, and it was just miserable when we didn't do that. It was so bad. I was just like sweating profusely. It was the middle of the night. It wasn't getting any cooler. Oh, it was so bad. So bad. You have a window mounted one? I think those are pretty good. I think they're generally pretty powerful. The portable ones sometimes are not great. So I am kind of trying to watch my usage, although I don't need to be too careful about this. And this is sort of what I was trying to avoid, but I did want to at least do some tests and see, is there a big difference using medium and high and extra high? Anyway, let's go figure out some skeleton sounds while we're waiting for this. So we'll go to downloads, Leopause. Do we have any like skeleton? Oh, nice. That's pretty good. There's like a zipper sound at the end of that. All right, what do we want for this? I think that one's pretty good. Yeah, let's use that. Hey, Gray. Welcome in and thank you. All right, so we got to put this in the audio sounds. Oh, I'm on the wrong branch right now. Oh, man. Fine. We'll just put this in a place where it has access. So them getting hit would be this. Them throwing a bone, do we really need a sound for that? It could be this sound, I guess. It sounds like it's striking, though. It's just throwing. I don't know. What was the other thing I have? Bone colliding with something. Maybe that's what this sound is. Yeah, maybe that's what that sound is. Okay. So this will be them getting hit. This is bone colliding with something. And then we need them throwing a bone. All right. What do we do? Is there like a throw sound here? That sounds kind of like it. Yeah, I think that could work. Those could also work. Any of those would probably be fine. We don't have, we don't specifically have like a throw sound. I don't know what it would sound like. Like for a lot of sounds, if you picture coins or something, like you have an idea in your head. But for throwing a bone, I mean, it'd just be like a whooshing sound. Even swords in a lot of movies, they play like the metal sound of scraping a sword. But like a sword doesn't make that sound. You're just swinging around in the air. But that's what people associate with it. So that's what you need to do to make it not feel weird, even though that's not how reality works. So yeah, for this, it's just got to be something that's good enough. So yeah, this sounds decent. I think I want to go with this one. Yeah, I think I want to go with this one. We could at least try it. Hey, Magnus. Thanks. Unless there's a lot of metal in the air. Yeah, Magneto's around. All right, this is done. And it should be on the branch that I'm on, right? So I should just have these changes. I guess if I open this up and it looks fine. Background is now, yeah, 16 by 16. All right, let's load it up. Wonder when the original game came out. I mean, you could just Wikipedia that. Here, let me help. 1997. Answer obtained. This has been intelligence, not just AI, answering your question. Okay, so we want to go look at the inventory now. Okay, that looks horrendous. Oh, man. I mean, it looks a little bit better there. Maybe we should double the size of everything. Yeah, I think we double the size of everything. Or maybe triple the size of the slots and double the size of the items. Or maybe just don't even show a background here. No, I like that. I like the background. But yeah, these don't fit. How did it work in the image? I don't even understand. Were these just different graphics, basically? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we should do for this. So I guess let's copy this whole scene. Copy and paste. And turn it on. And then make this larger. Layout, transform, scale of 3. And then the item should have a scale of 2. We don't even have a graphic here. Quick load in items. Set a region on this. We can't do that. All right, fine. Load an atlas texture. Quick load in items. And set it to 0, 0, 32, 32. It fits in there. Is there something wrong with this? Keep size and scale. I could have sworn this is 16 by 16. Why is it rendering like it's chopped off? There's a pixel at the bottom we're supposed to have. Who name of this software you're using to dev? Hey, that one. This is Godot, the engine that I'm using. And this is Rider. So yeah, the engine is Godot, the IDE is Rider. I don't know which one you were talking about exactly. And then this is Asprite. This is just for images, but I'm not actually making the images. It's 17 by 17. Seriously? Okay. Well, that explains that. So if we change this to 17 by 17, why doesn't this look right? Keep. No, that's not actually there in the image. I'm so confused. I am very confused. Yeah, it's 17 by 17, but there's supposed to be that lighter grayish blue whatever bar at the bottom. That doesn't even render here. I mean, we could just set it to tile, but huh. What am I doing wrong? Yeah, what am I doing wrong? I don't know what I'm missing. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Feel free to ask any other questions you have. Custom minimum size, 17 by 17. The actual size then has to be set to at least that. Something's off. Oh, the Atlas texture has the wrong region being used. And what, we can't edit this now? Oh my God. How do you get this to use integer coordinates? You can't? Really? Oh, snap mode. Here we go. Pixel snap. All right, there we go. So that's what I wanted here. Let's set this back to where it was. The items still don't fit. Yeah, they still don't fit. Also, I do kind of want everything to be double the size that it is, which I guess we can only do if we change it here, right? This. Yeah, we would need to make this just slightly larger. This would have to have a scale of like 2.25 or something, which is then going to double some pixels. Alternatively, we make it like a 9-patch rectangle. Yeah, there's no fixing this easily. Or I could try using different graphics, I guess. All right, so let's at least lay this out the way that it should look. Put this here, put this here, put this on top of it. Oh, this also needs to be 2.5, I guess, so that it fits around it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Hey, no, that was not me. Yeah, I don't like it. I almost wonder Should we just use this as a 9-patch rectangle? And then just make it like slightly larger than what it's supposed to contain? If I go try to make a new 9-patch rectangle, you just give it one texture, right? Yeah. So this probably won't do what I want. So I need to combine it inside the image myself. Inventory. Yeah, I would need to combine it myself. Okay, out of curiosity, how big are these slots? Yeah, they're like 17 by 17. I just don't get how the items were supposed to fit in here. I mean, the rose doesn't have an outline, so maybe you're just not supposed to use the outlined versions. Sprites, objects, collectibles, no here. They have a non-outlined version of the bomb? I don't even think they do. I mean, these are all the outline ones though to begin with, so maybe we should just be looking in here. Items. Oh, here they are. This is V2. This is V1. Is that outlined? No, these are not outlined now. So the difference between V2 and V1 is whether or not it's outlined? Apparently. So yeah, if we get rid of the outline, this could potentially work. I mean, I'm already annoyed. Appleseed. Coding inventories was really hard. Do you agree? Just started watching. I think it depends on what you want out of the inventory. Because you could certainly make a very simplified inventory system that's not too bad. But yeah, a lot of games have had like duplication issues due to how inventories work. Like even the original Diablo had one. Although that might have had more to do with how you pick up an item. But yeah, the inventory we're trying to do here is really simple. I'm just trying to figure out how the graphics are supposed to work for this. So we just have a line of items and you just press left or right and that's it. There's no equipping. It's just for information. But yeah, the sprites that we have are just a little bit too large, I think. I don't have this open, do I? So what were we looking at? The bomb? The bomb from end to end is 18 by 18. So yeah, if you took out the outline, if you took out the outline, it'd be 16 by 16. Yeah, so that's what we'd have to do if we want this to work. And even then, they'd like barely fit. There'd be one pixel. I guess the bottom pixel. Yeah, the bottom pixel you'd still have. It would cover the top. Alternatively, we just draw a rectangle around it. That's all this really is. So yeah, that's probably all we should really do. Yeah. All right, so I made changes to this. I don't want to keep those changes. All right, so let's see. Should be making sounds now. Yeah, this is good. And yeah, the description looks better. What about when we have this maxed out? Yeah, that's good. It's repeating now. I don't actually want it to repeat. I apparently cannot get this working the way that I want it to work. I guess it should stretch. It just should set the margins correctly. Yeah, stretch, stretch. All right, let's turn this whole thing on. And let's just fix the margins. So left might actually be correct. The bottom... I am not setting this correctly. It's expand margins, maybe? No. Texture margins. There it is. All right, so we set this until we don't see that stretch anymore. In fact, we can just measure this. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Where's the graphic that I'm using? Here it is. All right, so how many pixels off the bottom is this? 11. So 11 is what this thing should be set to. There we go. The top is 8. And how many pixels are going downward there? 1, 2, 3. Is that what we see there? 1, 2, 3, probably. I don't know. And then left and right are incorrect. Left goes out to, well, left has to accommodate this too, I think, which is 14. Yep, that's looking a lot better. And then right has to accommodate the bottom, unless there's some texture over there. There is not. And that is 16. All right, now why is this doubled? It means I messed something. Oh, I know why it's doubled. I think. Because we need to have that accommodate the, it needs to be part of the left side of this. Yeah, that's a shame. I mean, we could do that. We could have this be this entire section here. 48 pixels. It's actually 47. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Hey, TY, what about the non-fun people? I guess they're welcome here, but they got to work on trying to have fun. How do you know so much about coding? I have a lot of experience. I've got that command that talks about it. But yeah, I got a computer science degree a while ago. I've been working professionally for a long time now. I've been doing game dev for a long time. Slap a pixel font. I don't like using pixel fonts. They don't scale as well. This game could make pixel fonts work because in Skeletosaur, the problem was that you could have the window at any size, and having to scale up pixel fonts in factors of 2 or get pixel fonts that are made at specific font sizes, I think would have been a pain. Hey, Jesta, move that decal on the base sprite if you ever need the 9 slice to be smaller than 47 pixels. Yeah, in this particular case, we don't. So I think this tooltip now looks good. What else did we have this do? And also how much quota did it take? We're at 82%. I'm just curious how usage works for this. All right, yeah, what are the other changes? This is fine. This is fine. This is a mess. This is fine. And this is fine. Yeah, so the only problem that we have is the item graphics are too big. And I think the easiest thing to do is just change the size of this to be very slightly bigger. So what if we set this to tile and set the minimum size to 18 by 18? All right, well, tiling looks stupid. Maybe ignore size. No. Keep size. Scale. Yeah, so it'd be something like this. We move this up just a little. Maybe 1 more pixel. Yeah, that could work. And then the item that we put in here, we need to load something in. I saved this already, right? I don't want to change this. Not yet. I just want to test things out. Yeah, the panel's fine. Okay, so let's do it over here. So I want all this to be scaled up to a factor of 2. I want this thing to be 19 by 19, I guess. And for it to be co-located with this background thing. And for this to be changed, no, this needs to be 19 by 19. And this to be changed to scale. And then set this back to 2. And set this to 2. Okay, so this should perfectly fit over here. Yeah, I just think it's a problem with the outline. Hey, Adrian. Can't you 9 slice those boxes? That way they can scale any size perfectly. Yeah. Yeah. I just don't know that they're worth even doing that for. But yeah, maybe I should. All right, let's change this into a 9-patch rectangle. And then we just need to set the patch margin to like 1 on every side, I guess. And stretch them in both directions. So now I should be able to arbitrarily increase the size of this. There is no right side? Is that correct? Yeah, there is no right side. There's a top pixel, a bottom pixel, a left pixel, and the right side is just blank. I'm sorry, there's obviously a right side of pixels. There's no like outline, which I don't really think probably matters. Yeah. All right, yeah, I think that makes a lot more sense. So let's do that. We'll change all of these to 9-patch. Can I do all of this at once? I'm guessing you can't. Oh, you can. Nice. And then we need to change all of their properties at once. Before I do this, let's figure out what the size should be. So here we have it set to 20 by 20. And the selection, let's just ignore that for now. Let's just get the item to fit on this. Yeah, 20 by 20 is probably the right size. So let's set these. 1, 1, 1, 1. And 20, 20. Okay, now let's focus on the selection. So the selection goes here. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, that fits almost perfectly. In fact, is it already good? Maybe it is. So how does it look in the game? Yeah, other than the bomb, that's pretty nice. Then I think we double the size of all of them to make them just a little bit more readable on the screen. So we open this up again and set everything to 2x here. So just select it all and deselect the slot and set a scale of 2 and then just position them a little bit farther apart, right? Theme overrides. This sort of works, but now it's not centered. I guess scaling up the background is a dumb idea, huh? Yeah, it's a dumb idea. The background should just be the same. Just have a minimum size set. Are all these games meant to be made by the same person? If so, do you care about any consistency in UX, or is each game its own beast? They are meant to be made by the same person, but sort of like how people in real life might make games in different styles. So the way I look at it is there doesn't need to be consistency. But like the sound effects are all kind of the same across the games because, you know, just like me, they had, you know, one sound pack or something. Hey, JLZ, what kind of keyboard is this? This is a Korn keyboard. It's only got 36 keys, so a lot of how you use it is to use layers. So like here I'm typing letters, and then I hold this button, and now those same keys type numbers. And then, you know, if I hold this button, I can type symbols. I can use arrows and, you know, navigate around my computer the way you would expect. All right, so we decided that I want to change these backgrounds so that they're just literally double the size. So we turn their transform scale back to this and their minimum size to 40. And then increase the amount of space in between here. And now this should be laid out correctly. What's a good amount of breathing room for these? Maybe that. Yeah. Now the selection graphics all unfortunately move. This is annoying, but we only have to do it once, so it shouldn't be that bad. In fact, we could have just made an item slot class. I gotta make sure these are all at the same Y position at the end of this too. Okay, so Y coordinate is -14. Did I do that for all of these? -14. Actually, they all have the exact same. Oh, yeah, they should have the exact same thing. So this should be over by 1 pixel. Yeah, we'll just copy this. Or rather, -17, -14. Let's just remember that. -17, -14. Transform. Oh, I already did it correctly for all of them. Okay. And then we just turn all these off. And there we have it. Let's try it out. Why is only one of these larger now? Oh no, what's going on? Oh, I was just in the wrong scene. Oh. All right, so now the bomb is offset. But what about the other graphics? They're all offset. Well, whoops. So yeah, we got to quick load in one of these to test it out. Quick load items. 32, 32. All right, so where should this be positioned? Like right there. Which should be pretty even numbers, right? -16, -16 maybe? No, we lowered a little bit. Yeah, -16, -14. Okay, that seems good. Now we'll revert this and just set them all to that. All right, how's that look? Pretty good. I'd say they're a little bit too low down. Let's move it just slightly. Yeah, that's fine. All right, but why doesn't it show bombs at all? Oh, there they are. Yeah, and the bomb graphic is the wrong graphic. But yes, I like this inventory screen. I think this is pretty good. Oh, I just noticed the outline around this is not white. Oh my God. Why? Why? Every other graphic uses white, but that one, this row uses something colored based on the orb. Really? And they have some graphics up here. I mean, these also look like orbs. Maybe we just use those instead. I mean, they both look equally magical, right? Yeah. Because it looks a little weird for the inventory to have a different graphic used for that. Hey, psych ward. How long of a playthrough is it right now for this game? So I only ran playtests for what I was calling Checkpoint 1. Checkpoint 1 consisted of the platformer game and the farming game. And it took people about 10 to 15 minutes. Since then, we've added in 3 other games. So I think we'll have added probably about half an hour. So I expect, maybe when all's said and done, that this new playtest will take people like 40 to 50 minutes. What do I have for lunch? I haven't eaten lunch yet. I don't think I really have anything planned for lunch. I'll probably make pasta or something. Okay, so this is looking good. We need to change the bomb graphic. And was there anything else I said? I think that was it. No other AI changes, right? No, yeah, okay. Aiming for 2 to 3 hours. Yeah, probably about 3 hours I think would be good. So I think we'll probably roughly triple the number of games we've made. So we'll probably spend another like 8 to 9 months just developing games for this. And then probably spend a lot of time seeing like, okay, is everything as good as it can be? Where can we add polish? Where can we change things up? What other ideas do we have? All right, so inventory screen, all of this stuff was working pretty well. And it looks fine. That's fine. Actually, you know what? Making this invisible is very stupid. Instead, putting it inside Dungeon Racer and having it be invisible there is a much smarter idea. And yeah, it is. All right, that's good. UI info we now have. That's good too. Close. This is fine. Yep. Yep, this is fine. This is in pause menu. Okay. This is the new button index 4 called UI info. We added it to Godot's string names, right? Yep. Pause requested. Pause menu closes virtual. So something must actually care about this. Must be the Dungeon Racer game. This is fine. This will look over later. Wait, hold on. Something doesn't make sense. I'm missing. Why does this exist if nothing's going to use this? Why did I add this function? No, Dungeon Racer does override it. How did I miss that? Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, that's fine. All right, cool. So all I have to look over is inventory screen.cs. I already pretty much looked over this whole scene. I don't think there's anything else here. I would say that making a slot out of these, like an item slot class, would have been a lot better. I had to manipulate all these myself. But everything else is very straightforward. There's a background. Actually, the background might benefit from being... Oh, it is already transparent. So when I switch into that game and open this up, yeah. All right, I guess that would look a little weird though if you got in the game for the first time and you have no items whatsoever. Might need to do something about that. May need a non-ideal state for the inventory for when you don't have any items. The bomb's falling out, I know, yeah. I gotta fix that. All right, so this is all looking good except for this, which I just haven't reviewed. So let's go review it. Slots.add slot. Slot count, sure. Yep, this is good. Hide it by default. This actually isn't needed. Yeah, I'm gonna delete that. Close button, that's good. Yep. All right. Yep. That's fine. Oh, exit tree is kind of an interesting way of doing this. I don't think we ever make it exit the tree though, so I think we can just delete this. In fact, let's put a breakpoint there and see, does this ever get hit? It probably doesn't. Use the base sound effect. It wasn't a sacrifice, you didn't break it. Bomb drops out of the inventory and explodes. How dare you think Raimi sacrificed something for this game? How dare you? Okay, so what do I want to see? If this ever gets called, and it does not get called. Yeah, so we're going to delete this. Okay, open, calls show, owns pause, it's going to be private. So let's make it private. Populate items. Add null, because what, we clear these out? We clear these out, but this is a really bad idea, isn't this? Aren't we leaking information? No, because they're just struct. So I guess we're fine. Yeah. And then we said icon textures. That's fine. Get item texture, use concrete types for improved performance. Because what, we only ever return an atlas texture? Sure, fine. Then this could just say return new, right? Apparently not. Can't say I love this, but yeah, it's not really worth fixing. Tooltip text, yeah, we got to collect this up. This is all fine. Yeah, this is great. Great, great, great. Maybe. That man is throwing pots out of his window. Well, we do have a sound effect that Impressla made now. Add inventory screen. This is just a way for you to know exactly what your items do. You know, really, from start to finish, this took, what, about an hour? And it definitely would have taken longer if I'd just done it all myself. We have more things we need to go do now. So I checked that in, but I was on a branch, right? Get status. Yeah, I'm on a different branch. All right, yeah. Let's do this. Git switch dungeon racer. Git merge. What was the old one called? Add duntory screen. Probably dungeon inventory. Not something we can merge. I didn't get the wrong name, did I? How do you add dungeon racer? A dungeon racer. Ah. Diverging branches. Rebase. How could these diverge? Well, that was fine. Okay, so we're back to my branch now, right? And we have everything here? Yeah. And we should have skeletons in the first room, I think. I don't remember if I saved that. Did I save that? I probably didn't. Man, this is taking so long to open. I gotta figure that out. No, we don't have skeletons there. Well, we have the inventory. Why was that selecting the wrong thing to begin with? That did not seem right. Let's go to title screen. Let's go back into the game. No, maybe I was holding right as I opened it. No. Huh. I don't know what happened. I wonder if I should make bombs even faster. It is a little bit annoying that they're hard to use. Although part of it is that they place them right where you are. I need to have them place them in front of you. Wow, excellent accuracy. That red coin will appear on the next floor now, because we don't want you losing coins. The coins. They're gone. Nice. Take that, zombies. Yeah. Very cool. Alright, so now we got the coin magnet. So now we destroy vases. They move very slowly closer to us. when I was experimenting with this originally, they orbited around the player. Or not originally, I added acceleration though. They orbited around the player such that as you would move, it would make it even harder for you to collect them. So I made them kind of steer toward you. Nice. Oops. I wonder how, like, this is a game set up pretty well for speedrunners. I wonder how fast you'd be able to get through this. You'd also need some luck with which items you get, because the boots help you way more than the coin magnet does. Now I can hurt enemies by dashing into them. It's just so satisfying. Especially when you, like, launch off like that. Whoops. We have an even larger coin magnet now. Nice. Alright, so this is the insta-kill boots. You can even kill slimes now in one hit. It is too bad that the coin magnet doesn't actually pick up those coins from enemies you dashed through to kill. But yeah, you can go really fast through this game, huh? I need to add more rooms, of course. Alright, so now we got the final coin magnet. Maybe we should make that pull coins from even farther away. Oh, that feels great. Yeah, so we got all the upgrades now. Looking good. Looking good. So bomb on the inventory screen using the bomb with shadow graphic. We should use the outline bomb. Yeah, let's give it a bunch of little changes to make. The bomb on the inventory screen is in the dungeon racer sub game is using the bomb with shadow graphic. We should use the outline bomb graphic that shows when you pull bombs from the chest in room 4. That way it actually fits. Let's do that. Set this to medium. Was I on medium for the other thing? I want to go check that out. Yeah, I was. Okay, good. I would assume a coin magnet would work is that it would just pull all the coins to the player as you pass them. Upgrades making radius larger. Now having them slowly move toward the player. Yeah, we might want to tweak that behavior. I'll write that down. I do want there to be upgrades. I know the whole increased radius thing could help, but if most of the coins drop within a small radius anyway, you might feel like, well, I don't even need the bigger ones now. All right, next up, sounds. So how about we just copy all these to like a temporary AI location? No, that's actually stupid. Let's just copy them to the final location. Audio, sounds, dungeon racer. All right, so we want this directory. And we want to copy these files. So cp this to /. Okay, so we got our new files here, right? It should show up in changes. We should see 6. Yep, perfect. All right, so add skeleton sound effects. Nothing uses these yet. All right, now we instruct the AI about this. Wow, that was already done. Nice. Look at how fast it is when you don't have to actually do the work yourself. All right, so add sounds for skeletons in the Dungeon Racer subgame. When they're hit, play skeleton damage. When they throw a bone, play bow shot 02. And when a bone collides with something, a wall or the player, play skeleton attack. All right, looks good. Let's go test this one out now. Make it affect a cone instead of a circle. The problem is that cone is going to be behind you a lot of the time. So you'd have to keep turning backwards. Also, you'd probably want to visualize the cone. So put like a giant ice cream picture on top. Yagama, thanks for the raid. Good luck and have fun. Are you heading out? Thank you very much. Let me give you a shout out. Yeah, welcome in everybody. Yagama, did I already ask you before you leave, would you be okay playtesting this game? I love putting people on the spot. He can't say no. His whole community will think he's a jerk. I will show everyone what I'm up to in just a second. Actually, let me just show you now, I guess. Playtesting, sure. What a sucker. I would have paid for this. He just offered to pay me for it. Let me write this down. Thank you. I do appreciate it, Yagamoth. Sign. Oh. I just started. Sign him up. Okay, so we are working on a game here called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. I've been developing this for about 4 months now, and we don't have a very good title screen yet. That's fine. It's just functional. But we have this cool character customizer. You can change your colors of everything. Let's go with dark red hair and randomize the shirt color. There we go. So yeah. This is Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. This is the very first game you get into here. And because Yagamoth's going to play test this and he's watching right now, I'm not going to talk about too much here. But you're going through all these different game worlds, trying to figure out what's going on. Why are these game worlds broken? There are sometimes funny ways that it's broken, sometimes just unexpected ways, and sometimes kind of small ways. And I'm not sure that they'll resonate with the player as being broken. But like in this one, you just fall through the world. And you land down here and it's like, okay, you weren't supposed to be here. And you're trying to figure out what's going on, like I said. So yeah, we've been making a bunch of different sub games here. We've got a Skeleseller themed one where you can walk around as the Skeleseller cleric for now and open up treasure chests and then set the price of these items for customers and get perks. So this is very much like Skeleseller. And yeah, customers should start spawning in. There they are. Bye, 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 bye. How about someone gets further? All right. Yeah, thank you for the raid. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm not going to cover too many spoilery things here. But yeah, the newest game I've been working on has been this one, Dungeon Racer. So this starts out as a Zelda-style game and then eventually becomes like an endless runner. But it's feeling pretty good. This is the most mechanically intense game of all of them so far. And I hope they are not all this level of effort because they've been a lot to make. Yeah. This definitely feels good. Can't wait for the playtest. They're going to be next week. Well, they'll start next week. I'm going to start scheduling those tomorrow. Yeah. All right, let's get back to the changes I was making. So we had this. I am going to commit this. Okay. Git merge dash dash squash. All right, so this one is the bomb graphic. Let's go make sure that's working. All this does is use a different graphic for it. So it should be very simple to validate and almost no code to look through. In fact, it should have changed pretty much one line. I don't think it actually is. Oh man, this is so slow. And all I changed was something that was supposed to speed it up. Yeah, nice. That looks good. So that's it. I just wanted the bombs to use the right graphic. What are we doing here? We got rid of this. Oh, I see. We got rid of a bunch of code that you needed to load this in a smart way. And now we don't need a smart way of doing this. Interesting. There's actually special code to do this for the bomb before. Use correct bomb graphic on inventory screen. All right, that one's done. And the next one was this, which is add sounds. Did this just finish? No, that was 4 minutes ago. All right, so same deal. Let's run this. Not something we can merge. Did it not finish committing yet? No, I didn't press commit. All right, so now we have skeleton sounds. Let's listen. Oh, wait, no, we don't have skeletons. We can't listen to something that doesn't exist. Stop that. Go add a skeleton. What is this window? Is a game running? Huh. Oh, there it is. All right, so dungeon piece 1. We want a couple of skeletons. Maybe just add one and just keep repeating this. Yeah, let's just put them right there. Actually, you know what? Let's put them there. So there are 3 sounds we added. When they get hit, when they throw a bone, and when the bone hits something. So we got to listen for all of those. Is this going to start? Nice. Wow, that's perfect. Yeah, great. Let's try again. Oh, that's bad. That's bad, yeah. I think we have a bug with zombies with that, so I already have this written down, yeah. Oh no, that's the wrong bug. Where's the one about... Same thing with monsters. Bug, a skeleton throws a bone. Throwing a bone between room seams causes the bone to disappear visually, but it still exists. Yeah, so sound-wise, this is fine. The thing I want to go validate is, do we use any pitch shifting for this? Because in general, I think it's a good idea to have them on pretty much every sound by default. And the answer is yes, we do. Volume-wise, I didn't notice a problem, so we're going to keep that. And anything unusual over here? This is Dungeon Piece 1. We'll get rid of this. I want to add skeletons. In fact, we should probably add some more rooms, and some should have skeletons. But I also wanted to add in that knight character. And I was debating how much like fake story should we have in this game? So the classic Zelda plot is you are Link, you have to rescue Zelda from Ganon. And that's it. That's the entirety of it. I was thinking for this game, we could have some brief intro about how you have to rescue the prince from some, you know, like primeval, whatever. Doesn't matter. But that never actually happened because the game is broken. Yeah, the loading is seamless. That is a room seam there. And it should be very easy for me to fix this eventually. I just haven't prioritized it yet. So yeah, should we do this sort of thing? And maybe that's something we think about during the stabilization phase. Should we be adding more micro stories to set up the brokenness of some games? In the Dungeon Racer game, perhaps it starts with some brief dialogue about needing to rescue the prince in a reverse Zelda style plot. But you never actually do that and instead run away from the dungeon. It may just help set the tone a bit and give you a purpose within that game. Yeah, I got to be careful I'm not making this game for myself exactly. Yeah, I think other people might want there to be a hook within a game. But okay, this looked good. anything else that we need? This is what, skeletons? Yeah, this is fine. And then bones get initialized with the skeletons. We throw the bone. That's good. This calls a simple, yep, this is fine too. All right, very easy. Very, very easy. Okay, so add sounds to skeletons. And we are now at 81%. Just keeping an eye on it. Let's go back up the list. So for a half day of work, we've gone through 13%. I kind of want to get to the point where we're using, let's see, we have about, trying to think of how many like half days per week we actually have, because Monday we have 2, Tuesday we have 1. Well, no, actually I do work off stream, right? But Wednesday it's 2, Thursday it's 0, and Friday would be 2, I guess. But then I may do work off stream to add 1 or 2 more. But anyway, that would be 7. So 100 divided by 7 is about 14%. So yeah, about 14% usage per 5 hours is probably a good target. Or I pay $100 per month. Either one. EJ, happy 67 months. Hello, hello. How have things been? Every once in a while, I'm playing a game with some friends, and instead of saying everyone, they say every Juan because of you. It's not super common. Yeah, so think about AI usage some more. I was thinking about how many like half days I have and how much AI I use in a given like 5-hour period. I think that if I want to stick to the $20 a month plan, that I would need to use like 10 to 14% in any given coding period. Excellent. Good to hear. How are you doing? I'm doing really well. It's been fun working on this game. It's been interesting using AI because I think it's changed what a unit of work looks like to me. Like I mentioned this, that in Skeleseller, we had a bunch of low priority tasks that I just dropped because my logic was something like, okay, if this takes 2 hours, but only affects like 1% of the player base in a very minor way, it's not worth it. Well, this whole, if it takes a human 2 hours, well, now it might take a human 5 minutes or something. And it's like all of a sudden, all those low priority tasks probably could have been done. And I guess it's not too late. I could still do them, but they're not important now. The game's been launched. But yeah, for this new game, it feels like, okay, low priority tasks are just very simple. I just added 3 sounds to these skeletons, and it's not a difficult task even for a human to do, but like it's a lot of boilerplate. I would have needed to add in this, like these 3 things here, and then in all sound data, I need to point to the right file. And it's like all these things add up, and AI just does it so much faster. So now the new like unit of work is about planning, review, and like prompt writing. And it's different. And I look at some of these big features that I have and I'm like, wow, this is going to take a long time to write out, but it's better than writing out the code. So I still have like a million tasks on my to-do list. It is nice to breeze through some of them. Like this is now done. This is done. And I think I checked it in. I don't remember. Yeah, I checked it in. Yeah, so we've gotten done with it a good amount here. If I search through the rest of this list, I did add some items too. What are we down to now? Word count 11,304. So we've only increased our list size. Oh my god. I spent 3 hours and 20 minutes working, and I've gone up by 4 characters in the list. Yeah, I mean, this perfectly illustrates what I'm talking about. Like, this would have happened even in the old days. It happens no matter what, right? You're doing a task, you come up with 5 more tasks, okay, your list grew. But yeah, it would have taken me more hours to get through those tasks. Hey, Obama, only real problem with this is that they expect much higher productivity at work now because they know how much we can get done with AI. Yeah. 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 And even though I am my own boss, I feel the same general pressure in that like everyone else is making games too, and some compete with mine, or some will compete with mine. So it's like there's still time pressure. I kind of mentioned this. It's weird to think about it in terms of years, but I can make X games per decade, right? X is probably like, let's say 5 to 10. So yeah, if someone else is making like 50 to 100 games in that time, then I just have a much lower chance at success basically. I know it doesn't exactly work that way. You might put more care or quality, or people might want more human driven effort. It could be anything. Yeah, the prompting does feel like spec writing, and I like writing specs generally. I just can't help but think of that social media trend that was going around for a while where you'd have a kid tell you how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and they'd be like, okay, like take the bread out, and the parent would take the bread and like just lay it right on the counter or something and not on a plate, and they're like, no, 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 put it on the plate, and then they put like the bag on the plate, and like it feels that way with AI sometimes. You make assumptions you don't realize you're making, although AI is a much smarter non-adversarial coworker for you in this case. All right, so we're getting close to lunchtime. An ad is running right now. I've got some other like big things I wanted to add here. This one's not really big, I guess. And I want to add some rooms. I wonder if it's worth writing up the prompt for the night character. I'm not even totally certain I should add them. Okay, this is impossible to see. So we have a bunch of graphics here. And my idea with this knight was that you could not damage it with your sword. So you'd have to use bombs. And then bombs would just kill it in one hit. So I guess I have to move pretty slowly. You know, honestly, this as an attack is probably better than a swinging attack, right? Because if they swing, they're probably going to hurt you a lot. But this would make it harder for them to hurt you more easily, not a lot. Yeah, I think I want to add this in. I still just need to plan out their moves. So what do we have here? We have attack 1 is a sword swing. Attack 2 is like a sword poke. And then what are the ones? Block I'm not using. Death we're definitely using. What is this? Hit? I don't think we need hit. There are two of them. One where it flashes and one where I don't even know what's happening in this. I guess they're getting knocked back or something. Maybe you can slash them to knock them back, but it doesn't hurt them. There are enemies like this that were in A Link to the Past. I wonder if there's a list of all the enemies. Because I'm picturing a couple different ways this could work. One is, oh, hey, retired Android. Thank you for the resub. Happy 26 months. And hey, Lamar, on the AI topic, do you use it for art? No, I don't. I've been getting asset packs, and Quickie Joe's been filling in all the blanks for stuff we don't have. Wow, there are a lot of enemies in A Link to the Past. I'm kind of surprised. They also list things like Boulder here, which I would not call an enemy. Anyway, the thing I was thinking of is... Where is it? I know what they look like. I don't know what they're called. Maybe it was this? Is the red one the one you can't hurt with your sword? No, you can hurt them with your sword. Where's the one in the... Man, I don't remember this. Oh, these ones. Yeah. Igor. Yeah, these... The red ones could not be hurt with your sword as far as I know. It cannot be harmed by Link's sword. Yeah. So, these you also couldn't bump backward with your sword. But do we want that for this? I think it's weird if you try hitting something with your sword and nothing happens. I feel like it should bounce him back. Maybe it takes like 5 hits to kill him with a sword. Yeah, maybe they shouldn't be immune to the sword. I don't think that really makes sense for this game. Like 1 hit from a bomb kills them, or 5 hits from the sword. But if they don't move fast enough, you're just going to run past them, right? Maybe that's fine. Yeah, maybe that's fine. Hey, X-Bro, what game are you making? Can I see what you have? Yeah, sure. Sorry I missed your message. I don't know if you're still there. I don't read YouTube chat as often as I read Twitch chat. But I'm making a game called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. And it's been taking a very long time to load for some reason. Yeah, here we go. All right, so let's go to the title screen. Yeah. So yeah, Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. I'll randomize all these things. Oh, you know what? I wonder if you should even have to select these, or if just pressing left and right selects them. Just think about that. Anyway, you are going between different broken games. So this is a platformer, but you get to a part in the world where the world just has no collision set on it and you fall downward. And imagine this happening in practically every game you're playing. Not that you're falling through worlds all the time, but that strange things are going on. They're not what you expect. The game just lies to you at some points. One of my favorite things that I've coded is this. Excuse me. You try to use your axe, and like you can see the character just holding it. They don't actually swing it, they throw it. And now you get the ability to run, and you can't pick up your axe again. It just floats away from you. I just get such a kick out of this. And yeah, I want to see how many playtesters discover this. Like, do they try picking it up again? Or they're like, oh wow, I can run now. Yeah, I was moving really slowly before this. So there's a lot of just like explore, and you'll figure things out that, yeah, you might not expect. They might work differently from how you have seen it in other games. All right, so knight character. I guess we do want the hurt animation that's here. Hit. So I should probably be copying these somewhere else, huh? They changed since the last time? Yeah. Yeah, so that's Quickie Joe's work. We have, I'll load this up again. We have the main character that you've seen a bunch of times now. It's going to be in the logo and everything. But whatever you customize your character to be, we plan on using adapted artwork from each game that matches your customizations. So if we go back to the title screen here, like let's say I just changed the shirt color to whatever, yeah, red. So in the first game, you look exactly like that. When you change games to the farming game, you have a red shirt now. But this is not how the sprites were made for this game. This is what Quickie Joe had to do. And then in the next game, we don't have the colorization yet, and we only have 1 frame of the idle thing set up right, yeah, here. So yeah, these need to be done. The other games need to be done. That way it feels like the same character. Yeah, you can customize your character. I have not had playtesters try that yet. That wasn't in Checkpoint 1. I think it adds something to the game in that it makes it clearer that you are the same character throughout all the games. If you didn't customize it, you might not notice that. But if you have like hot pink hair in the game, and then in the second game you also have hot pink hair, you'd be like, oh yeah, I chose that. It's not just a coincidence that they had pink hair 2 times in a row. And if it was a coincidence, it's not a coincidence that it was 3 times in a row or 4 times in a row. So yeah, I think that's pretty important, but who knows how people will take it. Okay, let's go plug these things in here. Sprites, characters, Dungeon Racer, monsters. This isn't really a monster, but I'm going to put it in the monsters folder. Call it knights and copy over all the stuff we need. So we want, yeah, which attack do we want to give them? I think swinging a sword is like probably covers too much ground. They're already probably too difficult. They're already pretty difficult enemies. Or maybe they stop in front of you and then face a direction. So like if they were facing up, they're going to swing up even if you move around them. So you have a chance to dodge their swipe. Maybe you can stun lock them. What else do we have here? Idle. Idle we probably need. Run we definitely need. Idle, run. What is this? No, I don't need that. Standby I don't need. One of the attacks we're definitely going to need. Death we need. And hit. Okay, so yeah, the question is just which attack do we use? This one, which like I said, is like a sword poke. This is kind of a telegraphed move too, right? I don't, it looks like their sword's kind of fading out there. But they could like kind of charge up their sword and then strike with it. And that's your chance to move. Yeah. I want to use this. I want to use this for sure. Okay, and then we got to add sounds for the night. It should telegraph its attack by slowing down the animation a bit. I'm on top-down shooter game days. Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I have changes? Oh, yeah, I added these in. Add night graphics. These aren't used yet. But they will be. So we're going to set this one to high. And Dungeon Racer. And then type out our incredibly long prompt for this. And then I'm going to get lunch. And I'll just let this run over lunch. Okay, so I want to add a night enemy to the Dungeon Racer subgame. So it is relatively close in behavior to the zombies. It has a detection area. When the player enters it, the knight will chase the player. Upon doing this, it uses its running animation from, where's run? Here it is. And the directions are down, right, up, left. But is that the same as the attack? Because I remember that was different in the other one. Down, right, up, left. No, it's correct here. Down, right, left, up. Wait a second, they are different? Oh my God. Why would they do that? All right, so let's just look through all of these. Attack is down, right, up, left. This one's wrong. This is down, right, up, left. Down, right, up, left. And down, right, up, left. Yeah, so only the death one is down, right, left, up. Okay, got it. The death animations directional ordering is down, right, left, up, down, right, left, up. All other animations use a directional ordering of down, right, up, left. Make sure I've done that correctly because that's an annoying thing to fix. Okay, great. The knight dies in one hit from a bomb, but takes 5 sword hits or level 3 dashes. Dies in one hit from a bomb, but takes 5 sword hits. One hit from a bomb, 5 sword hits, or 5 level 3 dashes, or 2 level 4 dashes. Damage can be split How about we just do it this way? The knight has 5 health and dies when all health is depleted. Sword hits deal 1 damage. Bomb hits deal 5 damage. Level 3 dash hits deal, I guess, 1 damage. Maybe it should be 2. Level 4 dash hits deal 3 damage. Yeah, that's good. When the knight is hurt, it plays its hurt animation. Hurt animation is this. All right, then attacking. When the knight is within, I mean, how many pixels wide is the sword here? Because they hold it out in front of them. That's probably already close enough to damage the player. Maybe they charge a little bit forward as they attack. Yeah, maybe they move forward as they attack. So how about this? When they're within, give me a sec. Let's load this up over here. So the sword length from here is like 8 pixels, 7 or 8, which means that the knight itself would be 15 pixels away. So yeah, when they're within, how about that? The knight is within 16 pixels of the player. They will stop and enter their attack animation. We're all just gamers trapped in real life. The ultimate Sims game. This is what the Sims 7 is going to be. You live out an entire lifetime thinking that you're a real person, but you're actually in a simulation. And you have to advance your career and make friends. That's the goal of the game. And get cool interior decor. Okay, so the first once they start this animation, they're locked into it until they finish or they're hurt. They cannot change directions or chase or run toward the player during the attack animation. The animation plays the first 2 frames. Wait, is the sword moving for those frames? Their hand is moving very slightly. Oh man, I kind of wanted the sword to just flash on its own. But yeah, it moves very slightly. Because I was thinking like the sword could just flash and then they like charge forward with it. We could swap between these 2 frames and then it would look like their hand is shaking instead of just the sword flashing. Maybe a particle effect or something would help. The animation plays the first 2 frames and freezes on the second frame. The second frame has a like 10x delay. We can set up on the sprite frames directly. Then the knight charges forward and play as it plays out the rest of the frames. When the player makes contact with the knight, the player gets hurt. When the knight gets hurt, they take an extra 0.5 seconds before chasing the player. And the knight's sword can also hurt the player. Add a collision box for it that matches the frames of the attacking sprite sheet. All right, so attack is here. Have we mentioned everything now? It plays its idle animation before detecting the player. Should it wander around at all? I don't think so. Unlike the zombies, knights do not wander from their starting positions. Hey, Matt. Dare I even look at this? Oh, okay. That's right. And that is the neat part. Now you're catching on. All right, anything else? Telegraph this. Knights. Oh, yeah, probably drop a couple red coins. When the knight is defeated, it should drop. How much is a red coin worth? 10? It's cooler for it to drop many smaller coins. Maybe like 2 red coins and a blue coin. Yeah. So that's done. That's done. That's done. That's not done, but I have it written down, and that's done. So I think this is our whole plan. AI judge. No, I think we'll stick with the human judge banning Raimi. All right, it's relatively close in behavior to the zombies. It has a detection area, and the player enters it. The knight will chase the player. Upon doing this, it uses its running animation from Blue Knight Run. Plays its idle animation before detecting the player. Unlike zombies, knights do not wander from their starting positions unless they've detected the player. Oh yeah, should they fall down? Maybe knights should run from the falling floor so they don't fall down. No, that's not really a doable thing, is it? No, yeah. Okay. Finish or they're hurt or they fall through the floor. Knights should fall through the floor if the falling floor catches up to them. All right, what else? They idle. Actually, did they idle? What's their hurt animation look like? I mean, it looks pretty much like their idle animation. They idle for 0.5 seconds before chasing a player. That way the player has a chance to do more damage to them. And maybe after they attack, they also take a second. Yeah, that would probably be good. Then the knight charges forward by 15 pixels as it plays out the rest of the frames. Yeah. Okay, I think we're probably pretty good. Let's set this to plan, unlike last time where I forgot to do that. And let's kick it off, and then I can go get lunch. So we're at 81% before the night planning, running it on high. Yeah, I might run this and the implementation on high. I'm not totally sure, but as you can see, it's about noon. So I'll go get lunch, and I'll probably come back to read the plan while I'm on my break because it might take like 10 or 15 minutes to implement. Consider creating an agent-centered plan generator for working with them. What do you mean? In progress of banking plan creation rules in my repo. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean. I have been modifying agents.md every once in a while. not with too much stuff. One of the things I want to say is if something gets initialized, to not assume that it's randomly going to be nulled out at some point. And I probably got to do that. In fact, I should probably write this down. Change agents.md so that it stops assuming random properties can be nulled out. If something is passed in via init, we can generally, and its lifetime is longer than the thing being initialized, can assume it won't be nulled out. Therefore, no reason to use guard code like if x is not null. Okay. Show the review when I'm done. Basically, here's where I keep my plans. The done folder is for completed. Every plan gets metadata and tasks, so the state is preserved. Between completing tasks, I can just chuck the previous context and tackle each task on its own. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think I fully get it because in my mind, I'm giving the agent whatever context it needs for this task. And then the done folder is essentially just this on the sidebar here. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, like I said, I'm gonna get lunch. I'll be back in about an hour and 15 minutes, something like that. And we'll just keep going for today. We've been making pretty good progress so far. Yeah. We've got the inventory screen. We've got skeletons in the game. I want to make another bunch of rooms later and then maybe add some more power-ups or something. But yeah. All right, yeah, I'd like to see it, Matt. Yeah, definitely. All right, well, take care, everyone. I hope to see you in the afternoon. I hope you've been enjoying the stream so far. It'll be more of the same for the afternoon. And then tomorrow will probably be music day where we work on the Endless Runner music thing. So take care. Goodbye, everybody.